Despite 96 yards rushing by senior slot back Marlo Warthen last week against Marshall, Georgia Southern fell to 0-3 for the first time in the modern era. And if the Eagles are going to right the ship, it'll be freshman quarterback Kenny Robinson to lead the way. UTC has a veteran signal caller, Kenyon Earl, who can give defenses nightmares on the ground and through the air. Georgia Southern and Tennessee Chattanooga next on Sports South. From Chamberlain Field in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Sports South presents Southern Conference football. Tonight, the Mocs of Tennessee Chattanooga play host to the Georgia Southern Eagles. Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder, along with Ben Utt, joining me on the telecast tonight. These two teams have met 7 times. It's been very simple. Georgia Southern is 7-0 against UTC, but this year Georgia Southern comes in a different ball club. They come in 0-3. What's the mindset now for Tennessee Chattanooga?
If you're UTC, you got to be loving this. If it's ever a time to try to even the score from a 7-0 deficit, now's the year to do it.
Okay, let's talk about these two teams. We first start with Georgia Southern. They've had injuries at quarterback. If they're going to be led to the promised land, it's going to be a freshman to lead the way.
Yeah, after a shaky start last week, Kenny Robinson has to understand that he is no longer a rookie. He's got to come out, establish himself as a starting quarterback, and also help reestablish this option attack that Georgia Southern's been known for. Defensively, look for number 14, Rob Stockton, who last week really showed his leadership by coming up with a big play interception to set up Kenny Robinson's first college touchdown.
For UTC, conversely, behind the center, they've got a veteran signal caller.
Right. If Georgia Southern expects to win this game, they're going to have to try to contain UTC's do-all quarterback, number 2, Kenyon Earl, who so far this year has passed for 334 yards and run for 110. And defensively, look for number 33 middle linebacker Kenny Parkman, who came up last week with a big interception, ran at 19 yards for a touchdown. All
right, the scene is set. Southern Conference football on Sports South. UT Chattanooga and Georgia Southern. The kickoff coming up next right here on Sports South. Good crowd on hand at Chamberlain Field in Chattanooga, Tennessee for Southern Conference football. Georgia Southern and UT Chattanooga on an absolutely magnificent night as you look into the Smoky Mountains. Great night for football, 76 degrees, very calm, low humidity, forecast for a clear night, and a man that is going to be down on the field enjoying this nice weather, Joe Pequeno. Joe, what do you have for us?
Well, Kevin, you're absolutely right. The field conditions are beautiful. It's a nice night for football. And for both teams, this game is crucial. They don't want to start off the season 0-1 going into a Southern Conference competition. And if UTC is going to beat this Georgia Southern ball club, the defending Southern Conference champion, this would be the time with a freshman starting at quarterback. And Kenyon Earl, the veteran leader for the Mocs, will be at the helm. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joe. UT Chattanooga 1-2. This is their Southern Conference opener. Southern Conference opener for first-year head coach Buddy Green as well. As you see, UT Chattanooga will receive the football. Georgia Southern 0-3, as we mentioned off the top. 0-1. There you see Tim Stowers, 36 years old, in his 5th season at the helm of Georgia Southern. 36-17 overall. Only coach ever in Division I or Division I AA for that matter to win a national championship in his first year. Did it in 1990. On the other side, Buddy Green, first season, 41-year-old, comes to UT Chattanooga as an assistant at NC State for the last 8 years. He replaces Tommy West, who is now at Clemson. Ben Utt, you know, we were looking at these two defenses, and they've had trouble stopping anybody all year, so why not go ahead and win the toss? Go ahead and receive. I think, you know, you got a chance there.
You want to get the ball, go ahead and establish some type of attack offensively. The Moccasins have been averaging about 309 yards per game, but the interesting thing about the Moccasins is that they really share the wealth, Kevin. All the receivers get the ball, the running backs get the ball, and Kenyon Earl in particular has been running the ball quite a bit also already for 110 yards this year.
Georgia Southern won at 45-0 last year. Georgia Southern opened with a loss to Miami. Then they lost to West Georgia. Last week, they went to 0-1 in the conference, losing to Marshall. Now, UT Chattanooga opened losing 42-13 to Alabama. They lost to Alcorn State 54-28 to go to 0-2. And last week came back to go to 1-2 by beating Gardner-Webb 47-23. So as you can see on both sides, there's a lot of offense. There you see Tobe Taylor looking to run back his 9th kickoff of the season. You look at the numbers, only a long of 35 yards, but averaging 24, which tells you one thing. This wasn't one 99-yard touchdown. This is a very consistent return man.
Real consistent. He's the fastest man on the UTC team, and he leads the team in all-purpose rushing right now.
Number 6, Eric Smith, the senior from Athens, Georgia, with it teed up at the 35. Southern Conference football underway on Sports South. It comes to Tobe Taylor from the 5. And knocked off his feet. Does not reach the 20-yard line. Good coverage downfield from Georgia Southern. A 13-yard return. And now UT Chattanooga, the Moccasins, go on offense. Here you get a good look at Kenyon Earl, the 5'11", 178-pound junior out of West Columbia, Georgia. You see the numbers. He's thrown for 334 yards on the season.
One of the things we talked about earlier is that Georgia Southern needs to play with a lot of emotion in this football game to come out on top. It looks like by downing them down there in their end zone, looks pretty good.
So from the 18-yard line, go to the first man up the middle. Mario Greer, not a whole lot of room there. Let's take a look at the front line for UT Chattanooga. Vance and Maddox are the tackles. Sellers and Norman go 260 and 280, a couple of bookend guards, and Rusty Wright, the center from Aiken, South Carolina. In the backfield, Kenyon Earl, Mario Greer, the leading rusher. Then Stan Sullivan gets the start. The wideouts, Derek Hall, the leading receiver, and Terrell Owens. D'Amico Kemp is the All-American candidate. DeMarco Kemp, excuse me, the All-American candidate at tight end. So on 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1. Kenyon Earl off of play action. Pocket breaks down, gets rid of it, and saves the sack. Let's take a look at that Georgia Southern defense. Michael Morris was leading the way that time for Georgia Southern. They run a 4-3 set. That's Charlie Burt and Ed Thomas, the tackles, Sellers and Brooks on the inside. Linebackers, really the strength of this defense. They're all seniors, Britt Carroll and Scott Davis. The DBs, the boundary corner is Derek Austin. The field corner is Marco Bradham. Leading tackler, Francis Williams, and Rob Stockton, the strong safety, making his 27th consecutive start. There you see big Michael Morris, 204-pound senior out of Adel, Georgia. On 3rd down, Kenyon Earl has his man, ball knocked loose. They're going to say he was down. I tell you what, there was a big-time hit coming from the far side.
That was a big league hit. Perfect form tackle, as they call it. Put your head right in the middle of his chest, grab him right behind the knees, pick him up and throw him on his back.
Stan Sullivan caught the pass, and he was nailed. Let's take a look at it.
Good pressure so far on Kenyon Earl by Georgia Southern. Nice catch, turn and run. And Derek Austin coming up with a big hit. Boom!
Separating Stan Sullivan from the football. So Josh Sifkin will come into punt as the Mocs go 3 plays in punt.
And Kevin, that's the kind of thing Georgia Southern needs to do all night long, is set the tempo of this game and let them know that they've never lost to the Moccasins before.
40-yard average, along of 59. This is a nice punt. Takes Dexter Dawson, fumbles it back to the 25, and that's where he will go down. Great punt for Josh Sifkin. We're going to take a break after a 55-yard punt. 13:44 to go. First quarter, we're scoreless from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Back on Sports South in a moment. Tennessee, Georgia Southern, and UT Chattanooga scoreless. 13:44 to go, very early in the first quarter. Glad to have you with us tonight on Sports South. Kenny Robinson, the freshman, gets the start. Had a tough week last week. He was picked off twice and intercepted sacked 4 times against Marshall. Here, loses the handle. He did a good job holding on to the football, as he had some company back there, and they weren't of the friendly kind.
And you got a flag down the play right now. See what that is. Really, Kenny Robinson just lost his footing. takes a snap out and just pretty much loses his footing getting set to run the option. Goes down for a loss behind the line.
Offsides on a defense, still first down.
That'll be a first down and 5. Let's take a look at that offensive line. Moses and Glover, the tackles. Isaac Farrell and Joy Cushing, the guards. Franklin Stevens in the middle. Backs and receivers, Robinson will have Russell and Wright in the backfield along with Marlo Warthen, Alfonso Harris, and Dexter Dawson is who they'll throw it to. Up the middle goes Tyrone Stevens making the start. He's a senior out of Jessup, Georgia. This is an all senior defensive or offensive backfield. Let's take a look at this defense. It's a 50 defense. Thurman and Wright tackles, a sophomore and a freshman. Akara Calloway the nose. Kareem Robinson, what they call the Raider back. He plays like a defensive end. Linebackers, Chris Carter on the weak side, Kenny Parkman in the middle, Antone Goldwires on the strong side, and the DBs, Culpepper and Jackson on the corners, Ballard and McKenzie are the safeties. Here's Kenny Robinson, redshirt freshman out of Concord, North Carolina. Pitch it back. Here's Wortham again. Wortham cuts it up, has the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Tough, hard-nosed running. You got to like this guy because when he gets the ball on the corners, he'll cut it up and get some yardage.
Yeah, he is the fastest man on the Georgia Southern team, and when he turns the corner, he's really got some speed. He's getting some great blocking, and this is just a fundamental flex bone offense that Georgia Southern has run year in and year out, and Marlo Wortham really picking up some yardage on it.
He does it all. He can run with it, catch it, and on the kickoff. So it's first down at 10 from the 40-yard line. Up the middle.
Looks like there might be a offsides again, just like a typewriter starting. Offsides on Georgia Southern.
Now Georgia Southern will march back 5. Tim Stowers, that's one thing he was been very upset about. Penalties killed them last week against Marshall.
Penalties have killed them since the start of this season. This type of thing is also very, very indicative of a freshman quarterback coming in, changing his snap count, doing those little kind of things. Last week they also had a lot of center quarterback exchange problems, and I know that Coach Stowers is trying to work all that out. But also these mistakes like jumping off sides, you just can't have that.
Run the option again, nowhere to go. Defense was there. Kareem Robinson leading the way.
That's the way that you defense an option. You come across the line, you shoot the gap a little bit, and you try to disrupt anything you can. You also notice on this the option. You also notice on the option that Georgia Southern's running. So far, they've run everything to the left-hand side. One of the reasons is because Kenny Robinson is a left-handed quarterback. You're going to change your rhythm around for a left-handed quarterback, especially after Joe Dupree's been out. He was a right-hander.
Counting down to 12:15 on a moving clock from Chamberlain Field in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Quarterback draw opening up the middle. And Robinson steps through it shy of the 45-yard line. He'll be short of the first down, but you go from second down in an acre to third down in a reasonable amount. A gain of 13 on the play.
This is a play we're probably going to see quite a bit more tonight. If they have any trouble either getting the option to the outside, look for them to set it up on 3rd and long because their conversion ratio right now is pretty bad on 3rd and long. Look for them to set that up and run Kenny Robinson up the middle.
Stephen Alston made the tackle, a sophomore from Hopkins, South Carolina. But not before Kenny Robinson picks up 13. 11 and a half to go, scoreless first quarter. Pitch it back, Chris Wright. Gets the 45 to midfield, knocked out of bounds there. He should be very close. It's going to be a matter of a spot on whether or not he picked up a first down.
A great run and a terrific block by Tyrone Stevens, the fullback, 35. Watch here, great pitch relationship between quarterback and running back. And a nice block by Stevens to set up well to get another 5 yards.
They say it's enough for a first down. Don't even have to measure it. Chris Wright on the season has rushed for 41 yards. That's only his 10th carry of the season. He's a senior out of Valdosta, Georgia. You know, he, Worthen, and Tyrone Stevens in that backfield, all seniors along with Kenny Robinson, the redshirt freshman. So Robinson Up the middle, first man. Tyrone Stevens again gets a couple, maybe three.
See what he's doing now, Kevin? They're throwing a bone to the guys on the inside. We're going to throw you a bone. We're going to let you get a tackle, get your name over the loudspeaker, but we're going to suck everybody up inside, and then we're going to cut. We're going to take the option back outside on the corners again.
One thing about it, both of these football teams, if you look at Tyrone Stevens, 59 yards rushing on the season, both of them like to keep it on the ground. But, you know, you think of a team that keeps it on the ground as conservative. Really, that's not the case, especially on Georgia Southern's part. Option offense is a very, it can be a very dangerous offense.
It's very risky. Anytime you're changing the ball that much, either give it away, pitch it, you've got a chance to lose the fumble.
Well, Kenny Robinson, the freshman, says he doesn't like what he sees across the way, so he's going to take a timeout. So we take a timeout, 10:35 to go. We are scoreless in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Georgia Southern and UT Chattanooga. Tim Stowers has seen his ball club move the football. They're in UTC territory at the 48-yard line. 10:35 to go in the first quarter. Fifth year at Georgia Southern, 36-17 as the head coach of the Eagles. So on second down, 8 to go for the first. The left-hander finds Dexter Dawson. Nice move. Has the first down in his tag. Well, there's some popping going on out there. Tell you what, Tyrone McKenzie just put a big-time hit on Dexter Dawson.
This is a perfect play. Great blocking, good rollout, good pass, great catch by Dexter Dawson. Little juke there to get on upfield, and boom, 26, big play by McKenzie, really laying him out.
A gain of 11.
So, Kevin, there's some hitting going on today.
The drive continues.
The hits keep coming.
Yeah, did you see how Dexter Dawson popped up foot? Gotta like that.
You do that. You can't let anybody know that you're hurt.
Right up the middle, Tyrone Stevens. Flags come in. I think you're going to have some illegal motion on Georgia Southern.
I think we're going to have
cost the Eagles 5. Let's go down to Joe Pequeno. Joe, what do you got for us?
Well, Kevin, what you're seeing right here could be the omen of the ball game. UTC has struggled on defense this season, giving up almost 40 points per contest and 550 yards of total offense. Where on the other side of the ball, Georgia Southern has been struggling offensively. Last year, they averaged close to 28 points per contest. This year, only 9 points. Back upstairs.
Thank you very much. 10-10 to go. Joe Pequeno down on the field. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder along with Ben Utt upstairs.
We got illegal motion on the offense. Be first down.
And as advertised, illegal motion costs them 5. Tim Stowers, that's the second penalty of the night.
He's not going to be happy about that at all. This is nothing but mental toughness, not jumping off sides. He's unhappy about the offsides too, huh?
You think so? Well, he's got the UTC hat on. You know, 5 yards, every bit counts.
Anything will help. Anything will help.
Clock moves. So from the 44-yard line on first down and 15. Play action, nice fake, gets it in the flat, incomplete. Tell you what, there was a lot of room to run.
Kareem Robinson and Corey Wright putting great pressure from the outside on Kenny Robinson. Made him throw a little quick.
Reggie Garland, the intended receiver. He's a freshman from Thomasville, Georgia.
And one of the things with this option offense is that after you make that fake, it takes so long to make that fake, hide the ball, turn around and start your rollout, that it's almost a timing pattern. If you're forced to throw the ball, your receiver's not going to be turning his head over his shoulder looking for the ball yet.
Georgia Southern running the flex bone offense. We'll go with a single setback. Wide receivers to each side. A good play coming through.
Nakara Callaway coming right through the middle. That's just a great defensive play by Nakara.
Junior out of Atlanta, watch him work.
Really just slips the block from the offensive guard and offensive center, gets himself upfield, boom. Just a great play.
I say a nose tackle's job is to just maintain his space. That time he did that and some.
Nose tackles aren't supposed to make tackles. You're just supposed to tie everybody else and let the other guys get the glory. Big 99 doing a great job.
Nakara Callaway. So now you back it up, go down third down and 21 from the 48. Complete. Chris Wright fumbles the football. UTC has it. See who came up with it. Tyrone McKenzie.
Tyrone McKenzie, who has been around the ball all night long.
That he has. So Georgia Southern, a decent drive, but snuffed out by the turnover. Let's watch it.
Got a flag down the play also. But a great pressure by the UTC defense. Kenny Robinson shouldn't have thrown that ball up, but it's a great catch by Chris Carter. He turns in the effort to get a little bit more, gets the ball knocked loose. McKenzie picks it up, but look at the big hit by Isaac Farrell to lay him down. You got to get
Chris Carter,
great strip. You got to love it when these big hoggies make tackles like that, though.
So they sorted out. There you see. They sorted out. The penalty goes against Georgia Southern.
You know, Kevin, that's a big play too, because you got Georgia Southern marching down the field, eating up the clock, and UTC's got to get the ball back. That's the way to do it.
So they bring it out to the 48-yard line. First down and 10 for Tennessee Chattanooga. Kenyon Earl under center from the Power I offense. Reverse. DeMarco Kemp wants to throw it, and he will. Terrell Owens, incomplete. Tell you what, that is one needless to say Terrell Owens would like to have back.
What a great set. Another flag on the play also, but a great setup. The pitch. DeMarco Kemp goes and sets back. Almost pulls it down to run upfield with it, but goes ahead and sees Terrell Owens open downfield and slings it. Great pass.
Tell you what, DeMarco Kemp looked like he knew what he was doing with the football. He doesn't look like a tight end back there.
It looks like they've practiced that once or twice. Oh, is he wearing number 12? You can throw the ball if you wear number 12.
We got an illegal forward pass. He lost it down. He's second down, 5 yards from the spot of pass.
Most likely crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he did. He crossed the line of scrimmage. No wonder he looks so good with all those moves.
Sure.
One move too many.
One step too much, but that was a great play. And it also tells Georgia Southern, watch out. We're gonna throw some fake stuff at you tonight.
Well, when you're 1 and 2, why not?
Yeah,
you're in your conference opener. Option, loose football again. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be a loss. Stan Sullivan, the freshman, didn't keep the pitch relationship. He goes out of bounds. Paul Carroll was there to make the play.
Watch this on the replay. One of the tough things about the pitch man is that you cannot watch the defenders. You got to keep your eye on the ball and get the ball before you go up. Stan Sullivan took his eyes off the ball and started looking at the white jerseys. Kind of missed it.
Kenyon Earl's pitch was a little bit behind him as well.
Running this option is one of the reasons Kenyon Earl now has so many yards on offense running the ball also. Something they didn't do very much last year, but it's designed for this year. He's got all the ability to do it.
So now third down and 17 from the 41. Line to make is the 43-yard line of Georgia Southern. From the gun. Kenyon Earl will get rid of it. Caught by Derek Hall. And Hall up near midfield, well short of a first down. But you get into a situation now of field position, and you should be able to pin Georgia Southern back.
Right, that's a real heads-up play by Kenyon Earl, though, to really keep his composure. He's got a lot of pressure on him. He still pulls up, plants his foot, and fires the ball to Derek Hall. Unfortunately, it's not enough to get you out of trouble.
Well, Dexter Dawson goes deep. Josh Sifkin, who hit a big punt earlier of 55 yards, will come in to kick it away again, standing at his own 35-yard line. And booms this one into the end zone. So that'll be a punt of 51 yards. So we take a break. 8:01 left in the first quarter here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're scoreless. Back on Sports South in just a moment. Tim Stowers and his Georgia Southern Eagles go back on offense. 8:01 to play. Buddy Green on the other side in his first season coming to UTC from NC State, where he was assistant for 8 years. Here in the backfield, Worthen tries to cut it up, and tell you what, UTC all over the place. Brandon Culpepper coming up, the 5'9", 182-pound junior out of Columbus, Georgia, to make the play.
Brandon Culpepper making the start in front of Clint Oligood. Just came up, put great pressure. This is what you want to do for any type of option, is you want to split those seams and disrupt that pitch relationship that you're trying to establish on the outside. Culpepper does a great job of that.
Stephen Turman, though, had his arms all around Kenny Robinson. Really, he disrupted the play originally. It all started from there. So the inside between Turman and Callaway really getting it done for UTC. Robinson to throw the football on second down, has his man complete. And the first down up near the 35-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, Franklin Stevens almost got shoved right into Kenny Robinson. Number 99, Nakara Callaway just took him and shoved him right in the back. Great throw and a catch.
A gain of 15 yards to Alfonso Harris.
Let's go back and talk about number 50, Stephen Turman. He's the strongest man on the team, but last week he had just a spectacular game. This is a guy that the Moccasins are really hoping is going to start coming into his own. Last week he had 7 tackles of his own, 3 for a loss.
And he's only a sophomore.
It's only a sophomore.
There's 7:13 to go, first quarter. Right up the middle. Boy, nowhere to go. Now you break it outside. Tyrone Stevens. It was only going to be a gain of 4 yards, but what a spectacular 4 yards it was stuffed inside and broke outside.
Great second effort. This is what you got to see these guys doing, making the second effort. And one of the things that's important tonight is that the Georgia Southern offense has a lot more speed than the UTC defense. These kind of things could happen all night long.
Finally wrapped up and knocked off his feet again by Tyrone McKenzie. Like I said, only a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 coming up. But Tyrone Stevens getting the start in place of Roderick Russell, who's the leading rusher on this team. He's a big guy, 6 foot 228. Roll the pocket. Robinson looking to throw down and Wortham. Oh, knocked away. Beautiful play.
Alan Jackson does just a great job defending against the pass.
And he is a freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee. Timed it perfectly to knock it away.
Great pass protection for Kenny Robinson as he steps around to the left and throws the ball to Marlon Worthen. Alan Jackson, who is a true freshman, just does a great job of coming over and reading the coverage.
And now a 3rd down and 6 will come up.
Alan Jackson, I love his album.
Yeah. Water ski too. In this part of the country.
That's big.
6:20 to go. Robinson again rolls the pocket, has his man complete. Alfonso Harris again. 1st down and more out to the 47-yard line near midfield.
Alfonso Harris had a big catch last week to help set up their first touchdown, 46-yard last week, and he's an instrument in this Georgia Southern offense. If you're not going to run the ball as well, or if you're going to be balanced, you've got to go to your outside guys. You got to go to Harris. You got to go to Dexter Dawson.
So now near midfield at the 47-yard line, Georgia Southern throwing the ball more tonight than they did last week in the first half, that's for certain. Here they go again. Tyrone Stevens, big hole inside Moccasin territory down to the 40-yard line.
Let me tell you who you got to thank on that is your offensive line. Franklin Stevens, Joey Cushing, Isaac Farrell. Those 3 guys in the middle just open up that hole.
Counted off at a gain of 13 coming right at you.
Nice little trap block. Nice little block by Jamie Glover coming down on the arc block to open it up. Kevin, you could have run through that.
Well, you know, Jamie Glover, the guy, I don't know about that. He's a sophomore. Started 13 games as a freshman, making his 16th consecutive start. I maybe could have run through it, but I wouldn't have wanted to take that chance in case I found out too late that I couldn't run through it.
We don't want to mess up your hair now, do we, Kevin?
I'm more worried about my wrist. So it'll be 2nd down coming up.
But you see what Tim Stowers is doing right now. He's establishing that ground game inside that's going to loosen up that outside option, but also draw those linebackers in so they can throw the ball. And that's the flex bone is basically a combination of the wishbone and the run and shoot, as opposed to a pure option where they can just run. Here's an offense that's an option, but they can also throw the ball.
I like to spread the football field.
Right.
Taking hash mark to hash mark. 2nd down coming up, 7 yards from the 36. A lot of trouble in the backfield, and again,
another flag down.
Holds on to it.
I think we got offsides on Georgia Southern again, Kevin.
Tell you what, the interior of this UTC defensive line has been all over the place. There is Chris Carter, the senior from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Oh,
that may be why he had the jump.
Jump against UTC. Well, you know what starts happening is when the other team starts making some yardage on you.
All sides on the defense. Repeat 2nd down.
There you go. When the other team starts getting some yardage on you, you start getting a little bit anxious. You try to anticipate that snap count and make something happen. And unfortunately, sometimes this is what happens: is you get that offsides.
So far, it's been a bend but not break defense for Buddy Green and company. They've given up some yardage, but they've been the benefit of a turnover. Had the benefit of a turnover, I should say. Looking downfield for Dexter Dawson, incomplete and out of bounds. The protection was there. Robinson, just like a young quarterback you see so often, though, really afraid to stand in that pocket. He gets a little antsy. He wants to roll out.
You get nervous feet. They start running around instead of sitting in there. Although he did have some pressure. Nicaro Callaway come up on Franklin Stevens, number 56, the center, pushed him around a little bit. And I'm high-fiving Franklin Stevens for not getting called on the holding penalty. He'll do a great job in the NFL.
Yeah.
You got to learn to hold.
I was waiting for a flag to come through, and it didn't. So now 3rd down and 2. Robinson will throw it. Complete. Alfonso Harris knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Call him out at the 16. Tyrone McKenzie knocked him off his feet. A gain of 15 yards on the play.
Alfonso Harris had a big night. But Kenny Robinson has all the blocking he has, all the time he needs to roll out to his left, establish himself, and throw the ball on target.
Out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So now Georgia Southern threatening first. First man through, down inside the 10-yard line to the 9. Goes Roderick Russell, a freshman from Opelika, Alabama.
In these inside plays like this, Kevin, this is nothing but great offensive line blocking. There's a great kick-out block right there. You see establishing. Oh, that's just a great run. What you say, Roderick Russell takes it right up the middle.
And again, Jamie Glover, 67.
Jamie Glover and Joey Cushion doing a great job at just cross blocking and opening the middle up.
So now 2nd down and 2 from the 8. Checking off at the line of scrimmage, perhaps, is Kenny Robinson. First man again. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Roderick Russell from 8 yards out.
I'll tell you what, Roderick Russell is going to take that offensive line out to dinner later tonight.
So Georgia Southern gets on the board first.
A great run and a great effort to break the plane with the football.
Reed Haley to attempt the point after. 69 of 70 for his career here at Georgia Southern on extra points. Make it 70 out of 71. So Roderick Russell, the freshman, with his first career touchdown, breaks the ice with 3:41 to go. Let's take a look at it again.
They go right up the middle. Great blocks by Joey Cushing and Glover to open him up, and a great effort here to break the plane to get the ball across the line. From Opelika, Alabama. I've been there.
He is only a freshman. Be around for a while. He's rushed for 136 yards coming in. You know, didn't get the start tonight. He had been starting all season, but came in, almost like the fresh legs really rejuvenated the backfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, also, Tyrone Stevens had done a great job last week, and against West Georgia, Roderick had put the ball on the ground. He had a fumble on the 1-yard line, and it's a little suspect whether he would even start against Marshall. But, you know, they're running backs. Everybody's going to share time out here. You've got to rest your horses.
Tim Stowers is seeing himself in an unfamiliar position, at least this season. That's to be ahead on the scoreboard. There you look at Tobe Taylor, number 4 back deep for UT Chattanooga. And Eric Smith with the football teed up. With 3:41 to go, 7-0 our score. Tobe Taylor will take it, healing the goal line. Pass the 15 to the 20. Good return of 31 yards. And University of Tennessee Chattanooga will scrimmage from the 31-yard line.
Eric Smith got a hand on the play there. A little loose coverage by Georgia Southern. Let him get up the field a little too much when it looks like they had him pinned down. But a good run back by Tobe Taylor, who's the fastest man on this UTC team. Just hits the wall, takes up the sideline. I think you can see Eric Smith, the kicker, get a hand in here.
He's a junior from Columbus, Georgia. He's a kickoff return specialist, averaging 24. You see why. Kenyon Earl had a space. Rob Stockton knocked him down, but not until he crosses the 35 out to the 37-yard line. Gain of 7 yards on first down. 11-play drive of 80 yards. Took 4 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock. Freshman Roderick Russell takes it in from 8 yards out. Georgia Southern leads it 7-0.
Kevin, this is what you want to see is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Any coach will tell you the second most important thing besides having more points than the other team is having time of possession, having the ball more than the other guy.
Second down and 2. Trying to cut it up to the 40-yard line, but stuffed there is Stan Sullivan. Tell you what, Marco Bradham, a big-time play coming from the cornerback spot. Let's go down and check in with Joe Pequano. Joe.
Well, Kevin, you talk about that 4-minute and 20-second drive by Georgia Southern. It was very impressive, and one reason why, the Georgia Southern offensive line. They blew UTC off the ball. Kenny Robinson had plenty of time to throw the ball, and there was massive holes for the backs back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joe. Joe Pequano down on the field. We're down to 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go, and University of Tennessee Chattanooga will take a timeout. Kenyon Earl, a very mature individual. He is a senior out of West Columbia, Georgia. He's only completed 54% of his passes this season. He's thrown 4 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. Second leading rusher, though, on this team. You need a guy like that. He is married. He's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit different than I guess you would consider the consummate college athlete. You would see a guy like this. Like I said, married, he is mature, and that helps the entire ball club.
Your quarterback, if you're an offensive lineman, if you're a wide receiver, you want a quarterback that is confident and very cocky. When he comes in the huddle, no matter how far down you are, and says, okay, guys, time to turn it around. Let's go. This is going to work. You believe him. You go in there, you run the play, and you know what? It happens. Kenyon Earl also, he's got the type of talent where we saw him run that option play a little bit earlier where he tucked and ran up the field. He's got the kind of talent to do that.
Well, for deluxe accommodations in Chattanooga, make your reservations at the Quality Inn. Special aquarium packages are available, including 2 tickets to the Tennessee Aquarium and breakfast for 2. Call the Quality Inn Chattanooga. For more information and reservations, you can call 1-800-651-6767.
I've been to that aquarium. It's nice.
I wish I had more time.
It's good. You should take time out to go see it.
2:37 to go. Clock is stopped. Up the middle they go.
That play was just stuffed by the Georgia Southern defensive line. Lee Brooks, Brian Sellers, Ed Thomas, just coming up the middle. In a situation like that, it's white jerseys are all into the blue jerseys. They make the play.
Derek Austin getting up off the bottom of the pile. Here you see Buddy Green.
Buddy Green was saying earlier that you know what his team needs to do is play real balanced offense if they want to beat this Georgia Southern defense. Throw it, run it, do everything that needs to be done.
Earl pitches back. Stan Sullivan cuts it up inside Eagle territory, down at the 48-yard line, and a first down for Tennessee Chattanooga. Take a look at the option.
Great pitch relationship between Kenyon Earl and Stan Sullivan. Does the pitch, tucks up upside, tucks in upside for the yardage. Great play. Last week, Stan Sullivan ran for 91 yards and a touchdown. I think we're going to see a lot more of him tonight.
It was a gain of 12. And did you see Terrell Owens getting that get in the way block?
Getting that nice little block, yeah.
So first and 10 from the 46. Again, they pitch it back right again. Why not? The 40 to the 39-yard line. Again goes Stan Sullivan. The freshman out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, will pick up 7 on the play. A second down and 3 coming up.
Exactly the same play we saw on the previous play. Just a nice little option. And it's interesting, Kevin, the fact that they're getting yardage on Georgia Southern, who, by the way, practices against an option offense every single day of the week.
And they always say you usually defend what your offense does better than anything else.
Exactly. But when you're on defense against an option offense, you have got to be disciplined. You can't be wanting to make the tackle. You've got to play your assignment.
Kenyon Earl, oh my. Terrell Owens was open. Just a little miscommunications on getting the football there, but he was open. He had Brancis Williams to beat, and it would have been a 40-yard touchdown.
That's right. There was a lot of green between Terrell Owens and the football if he'd have brought it in.
I think he threw that a little sooner than Kenyon Earl threw it a little sooner than Terrell Owens would have liked, but a football that should have been caught. Minute 41 to go in the first quarter. Georgia Southern scored with 4 minutes left in the quarter. Roderick Russell, an 8-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0, and that's where we stand. They go right up the middle. His first carry of the day, Mario Greer. He's a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, who transferred from Clemson, the leading rusher on this team. That's his first carry tonight. He's gone 32 carries for 131 yards, averages right at 4 a carry.
First carry tonight, but he is the go-to guy in a short yardage situation. That play was 3rd and 3. He goes up the middle and gets the first down.
That says something for your fullback when in an option offense, your fullback is the leading rusher. He's not the guy that's going to be out flying around the corners. He's going to be the guy with the blue collar getting it done inside.
He's the guy with a yoke around his neck, doing the plowing.
Pitch it back. Cutting it up to the 25-yard line. Marker flies in. And Stan Sullivan down to the 25. It's going to be a hold. And that was Mario Greer, number 30, who's going to get called for that.
That's a great play, too, but Mario Greer doing whatever he can to make the play work.
And that time it was a tackle. So they mark it from the spot, remember, so they'll mark it from the 31-yard line.
Holding on the offense. Go first down.
So they mark it back to the 41.
That's tough. You don't want to slow your momentum down. They're doing so well against this Georgia Southern defense, marching the ball down the field, but also chewing up that clock. You hate to see these kind of setbacks. It's really just because of effort on Greer's part. He probably didn't mean to do it. Yeah, right.
It worked. Well, actually, it didn't work because he got caught. Because he got caught, it's the only reason it didn't work. So now he first down and 17 from the 41. Kenyon Earl pitches it back again. Stan Sullivan, this time it's sniffed out nicely, although a gain of 6 yards on the play brings up a 2nd down and 11.
Earl and Sullivan are doing a nice job of connecting on this option play that they're doing. And the Georgia Southern defense has got to continue to commit to string that thing out from sideline to sideline and not let him get any vertical yardage up the field. Make him run wide, that's all right, but what you don't want to do is have him turn up the field.
Saw a moment ago Rod Godoy warming up on the UTC sideline. As we count down, under 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, down to 10. And Kenyon Earl is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Morris, the senior from Adel, Georgia, his second big play of the night. He too deep. He's the backup. He's played well.
And he's doing a great job. What he did right then was basically shoot through that gap and disrupt the play.
So 1 down, 3 to go. We've got a score, 7-0. Georgia Southern leading Tennessee Chattanooga. We're back to Chattanooga in just a moment. With Ben Hutt and Joe Pequeno, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder from Chamberlain Field. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, fresh 15 on the clock on an absolutely beautiful night for football. Georgia Southern leading Tennessee Chattanooga 7-0. Kenyon Earl, look out again. Remember that name, Michael Morris. I tell you what, Michael Morris, the reason he got there so quick is the count was on 2 and he went on 1.
I tell you what, though, what he's doing is trying to judge that snap count. Kenyon Earl's calling the same cadence over and over again, and Michael Morris is thinking that he's going to be able to jump on it right away. Kenyon must have pulled back from it a little bit. Nice shoot through the line, though.
Offside on the defense. Still 3rd down.
All right, 3rd and 9 now.
So 3rd down and 9. Makes it a little easier to rack up the sack stats.
Anything to help your stats, though.
Now, from a former offensive lineman, I can't believe I hear you say that.
Yeah, those defensive guys, you never know what they're going to do.
Never trust any of them.
You never trust any of them.
Kenyon Earl. Oh, my. Mario Greer. Touchdown. UT Chattanooga.
What a great play, Kevin. A great play.
touchdown from Kenyon Earl to Mario Greer, and we are an extra point away from being tied.
Now the Moccasins are coming back and saying, hey, we're not here to be whipped for an 8th time. We're here to settle a score. It was a great play, Kevin, all the way around.
Rod Godoy for the extra point. He's perfect.
Good.
We're tied. 14:33 to play. A 33-yard touchdown pass. Kenyon Earl to Mario Greer. 7-7 our score. We're back at Chattanooga, Tennessee in just a moment. With 14:33 to go in the second quarter.
A great play to score for UTC Moccasins. Actually, you can't see it here on the replay, but Rusty Wright picks up a great block in the middle on the stunning linebacker. Mario Greer wide open, turns around, and to score, he makes the jump up into the end zone. Of course, that was just so we can get on the Sports South highlights. But a great play. That's how you draw it up on a chalkboard.
He has touched the football only twice tonight. Once a short run, and then
I bet he gets some more after this.
Not what UTC wanted here. Scoring drive was a nice sustained drive. We were talking in the break. UTC really needed this. 11 plays, 70 yards. Took up 4 minutes, but it established something that their offense can move the football.
Exactly. And Georgia Southern has to watch out because, like we said at the beginning of the show, you got to try to contain Kenyon Earl. So far, he's run the ball. He's run the option. He's spread it around to Stan Sullivan. Mario Greer's catching the ball out of the backfield for a touchdown. They're doing everything. They're very, very balanced.
So they move it to the 35-yard line. Georgia Southern says, we'll take it there. Tim Stowers and company.
Interesting, Kevin. I was talking with Tommy Spangler, the defensive coordinator of Georgia Southern. He said that his guys have really been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. I think they're going to have to turn up another notch on defense.
Right up the middle goes Roderick Russell, bounces outside. Good second effort to pick up a gain of 3 yards. Interior line again, though, for Tennessee. Chattanooga is there to make the play.
And Roderick Russell basically tried to pop it outside, kind of like we saw Tyrone Stevens do a little bit earlier, and didn't have quite the success with it.
The gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7. Line to make is the 45. Quick hitter to Dexter Dawson, incomplete. Looking to set up the split-in screen.
That ball just floated a little bit on Kenny Robinson.
See the freshman, though, you see, I think the lack of experience got a little quick on that play rather than sitting back and letting it develop.
Yeah, but just not lack of experience. What you can't do is all of a sudden put pressure on yourself because they scored some points and they're on the board and it's an even ball game. You got to still settle in and do what you did the last time you went down the field to score.
Well, both of these football teams should be able to move the football, and they have. You know, UTC giving up 556 yards a game. This one complete. Worthen down at the 42. Escorted to the turf by Dwayne Prater, sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. I'm impressed with the arm of Kenny Robinson.
Kenny Robinson can throw. They said that last week when he came into the game that he can throw the football, but I think being a first-time starter last week, just nervous, had happy feet, couldn't really settle in and throw the ball, and wasn't really getting the time or protection he needed.
They were short of the first down. So Eric Smith comes in to do the punting. Look out, here they come. Smith gets it away, low liner. Taken by Brian Davenport. Check it, he'll just move out of the way. Probably a smart move, but it's going to go as a good punt for Georgia Southern. Goes inside the 9-yard line. We take a break. A 49-yard punt, no return. 13:08 to go in the second quarter from Chattanooga, Tennessee. UTC 7, Georgia Southern 7. Beautiful shot of the Great Smoky Mountains from Tennessee to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where Georgia Southern and University of Tennessee Chattanooga are tied at 7 apiece. Up the middle they go to the 10-yard line. Not anything on that one. The UTC put together a drive last time. Mario Greer there on his second carry of the game gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Georgia Southern defense maybe got a little talking to the last time they went to the sideline.
I think so. I think they told them turn up a notch, turn the volume all the way to the right and get back out there and let's see you hold them down. They've got great field position right now if you're Georgia Southern and you can keep the Moccasins. down here and give your offense a little something to work with, as opposed to coming out of their your own end zone.
2nd down and 10. Full house backfield, really a wishbone set. They hand it off up near the 15-yard line, knocked off his feet. Is Terry Wilburn at the 13, a gain of a couple.
You've seen Terry Wilburn, Stan Sullivan kind of trading off but carrying the ball, and they're trying to establish the same thing Georgia Southern did earlier. Draw the linebackers, draw the DBs up close, running it up the middle so that they can spread the field, either throw it or run it outside.
3rd down and 6.5. Long 6 to go for the 1st down. We'll see whether you keep it conservative or you go ahead and air the football out. Terry Wilburn, the numbers on the year, averaging just under 4 yards a carry, has a touchdown. Bootleg. Kenyon Earl trying to get away. Complete. DeMarco Kemp. If it is a catch, it should be enough for a 1st down. It's a catch.
All right.
And a 1st down.
Great play by DeMarco. A little help from the turf, too, I think. Nice rollout and tough pressure by Georgia Southern defense. Good throw by Kenyon Earl, which we've already said he can do everything. DeMarco Kemp.
Looked like a catch to me. But the only person that's important to are the officials on the field. Looked like a catch to them too. So it's 1st down and 10.
DeMarco's
UTC gets out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Get a little breathing room.
DeMarco is a great blocker besides a pass catcher. That's what he's really known for on this team, is his blocking ability.
His 7th catch of the season. Up the middle they go. Mario Greer, really no place to go. The linebackers there, D.T. Tanner was there first. Paul Carroll also in on the play. And those guys up front have done a job. Thomas Plant and Michael Morris have had big evenings. There, Brian Sellers as well.
Paul Carroll is a guy we haven't really talked about very much tonight, but he really is the heart and soul of this Georgia Southern defense. As he plays, so does the defense. Last week he broke his thumb, so he has joined this Georgia Southern all-hand cast team. We got about 4 or 5 guys on Georgia Southern's team that have broken hands right now.
Terry Wilburn, maybe one. Again, I'll tell you what's impressive from Georgia Southern, the interior line, not only are they strong up the middle, they're quick laterally.
Real quick laterally. They're also pretty strong. They've got a little bit of size on this UTC offensive line, so they're winning a little bit of that battle when it comes to the stalemate. And then you see these linebackers like Scott Davis scraping through off the outside to make the play.
Well, 3rd down and 8. Another passing down coming up. We'll see what UTC does here. From their own 22-yard line. Last time they had the football, they marched 71 yards on a 33-yard touchdown pass. From Kenyon Earl to Mario Greer, tied the game at 7 apiece. Kenyon Earl rolling the pocket, wanting to cut up, slips down, and probably the best thing that could have happened, because Thomas Plant, the big guy, 250 pounds, senior from Fort Valley, Georgia, was there to make the stop.
Now that counts as a sack, but who do you give that to? Because there was great defensive coverage on the receivers. There was a lot of pressure coming up the middle. I guess you just have to give the, what, 1/11th to everybody?
Seems like it would be fitting, but it's not going to work that way.
Nope.
Dexter Dawson back deep.
One thing to watch for is Georgia Southern is so aggressive.
Block.
There you go. And a touchdown.
Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Well, you called
Kevin,
that one from
I
the
was
get-go.
just about to say they are so aggressive on the punt that you're going to either get the block or they can get burned on the fake.
Eric Thigpen. He's a sophomore from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, with the touchdown, and I believe tough to tell who got in to block it.
Tough to tell. Great play by Georgia Southern coming in. You want something like that to happen. Take advantage of the fact that you got them this deep in their end zone. Come away with 6 points.
So just like that, how quickly they can strike. That's why they call them special teams. At 9:12 to go, Georgia Southern takes advantage. The block punt for the touchdown. Let's take a look at it again. Willie Ellington, 34, is who came through to block it.
And Eric Thigpen lands on it for the touchdown.
So 14-7 with 9 minutes and 12 seconds to play. Time now. Let's go check in with Joe Pequeno. Joe.
Well, Kevin, you really have to be impressed by Georgia Southern's defense. They stopped UTC on that drive, setting up for the special teams play. And that's pretty important for Georgia Southern to have a good second quarter, because this season they've been outscored so far 33-0. Back upstairs.
And they hope that trend does not continue.
They're turning it around right now, Kevin. If you're an offensive lineman, you love this right now, because you're about to go out on the field and work. You just walk right back over there, get some more juice. Watch your defensive buddies go. But Tim Stowers is very, very serious about this game also. He knows that it's a must-win situation for him after going, 0-3, the worst start in modern history, all those kind of things. He'll be coaching all night long. If they get up 50 points, he's going to be coaching.
That blocked punt is not that unusual for this team. Last time they did it was last year, November 6th to be exact, in the Furman game for a touchdown. Here's Tobe Taylor. Nice move to the 20, out to the 23-yard line. He is quick as could be, and really just jumped around and got an extra 5 yards out of that return.
That's why a guy like Tobe Taylor has all those. He's an all-purpose type of runner. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can return kickoffs. He's got the kind of moves and the kind of speed that allow him to do that and still be a threat to this Georgia Southern team.
14-7, Georgia Southern on Eric Thigpen's recovery of a blocked punt. Kenyon Earl, very effective to the air, 5 of 7, 55 yards. It's a matter of just getting him the time to throw it. This time, coverage breaks down, and Kenyon Earl goes down.
Kevin, that was great defensive coverage on all the receivers of UTC, and Kenyon Earl just had to pull it down. He couldn't find anybody that was open, had to pull it down and go get something.
There's no place to go.
No place to go. I'm really interested to see how Georgia Southern plays if they start getting a little bit cocky, if they keep this emotion that they've been playing with. Now that they're up 14-7, but have also got that one big play on the special teams, block punt.
Second down. Got back to the line of scrimmage, so second down and 10 from the 21. Right up the middle, Mario Greer tripped up at the line of scrimmage. A penalty marker comes in. Again, for the second play in a row, Larry Rogers, the middle linebacker. He's a true freshman out of Tampa, Florida, makes the stop. And a clip is called against UT Chattanooga. Very unusual to see a clip on a short yardage running play.
Interesting, and that was also a great call though, because they've been throwing the ball. Nothing like pulling it down and running a little draw. Fake the pass, hand it off, and get it up the middle for the yards you need. But too bad for the clip.
They talk it over with 8:15 on a stopped clock. Georgia Southern leading Tennessee Chattanooga 14-7.
One of the interesting players on the UTC offensive line is Rusty Wright, your center, number 52. He is a
on the offense, spot enforcement in the run, still second down.
Rusty Wright is a transplanted tight end and a real unselfish type of guy. Whenever you have to give up your sweatbands, Kevin, to go interior line and play, you know that you're a team player. And here's a guy that gave it up. They knew they weren't going to run two tight end offense anymore, especially with DeMarco Kemp there. He moves in and plays center. He's doing a great job.
Junior from Aiken, South Carolina. So 8:02 to go. Kenyon Earl will work it from the gun. 4 wide receivers. Steps up and fires. Incomplete and picked off. Francis Williams. Back to the 24-yard line. Overshot Terrell Owens big time, and Francis Williams back in a prevent defense was there to make the play.
Actually, great patience by Kenyon Earl to throw the ball. Overshoots Earl, and there's Francis Williams standing there. Takes it on up for a run. Tries to throw a little juke here. Doesn't get too much.
11-yard return.
And Georgia Southern is right back down in UTC territory.
And Georgia Southern coming into tonight's game at 0-3. Tennessee Chattanooga at 1-2. And right now, it has all been a Georgia Southern second quarter.
You know, Kevin, if you're UTC, what you really don't want to see happen, even though you're down by 7 points and you've never beat Georgia Southern before, is start to panic. and start trying to force the ball into places it's not supposed to be and causing turnovers like this.
So they set it at the 24-yard line. First down and 10 for Kenny Robinson. Reverse. Dexter Dawson cuts it up, has a wall in front. Dexter Dawson, touchdown, 24 yards, Georgia Southern.
Great play by Georgia Southern. In fact, Dexter Dawson scored on a reverse last year on these guys last year, I believe it was. Kenny Robinson takes the pitch, got some good backside pursuit, and everybody is so aggressive they just forget about Dexter Dawson running back the other way.
And look at the wall in front of him.
Out front. You got to love Isaac Farrell being out there to lead your way.
So now 21-0. That is the third carry of the season for Dexter Dawson. He's averaging 25 yards a carry. Not too shabby.
I think they're going to try and get the ball to Dexter Dawson a little more often.
Got 4-6-40 time.
We got all sides on the defense. Doing the try. Try's good. Penalized on the kickoff.
So they will mark it off on the kickoff as Dexter Dawson dances in from 24 yards. We take a break. 21-7 our score. 21-7. Watch Dexter Dawson work from 24 yards out on the end around.
And watch his offensive linemen work for him to get him in the end zone. Joey Cushing, Franklin Stevens, and Isaac Farrell just running him into the end zone.
What you call a convoy and escort.
You got the fast lane, you got the slow lane. And Dexter Dawson's definitely in the fast lane.
Runs a 4.640.
Had a 67-yard reverse for a touchdown last year against UT Chattanooga, so you would think that was something they might be kind of looking for.
He can play. He's a junior. A year ago, he was second team All Southern Conference.
Rarely does lightning strike twice.
This one out of the back of the end zone. So UTC will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Eric Smith thumped that one good. 7:33 to go. 21-7. Georgia Southern with 14 second quarter points. UTC scored on the second play of the second quarter. And that is where we stand.
But don't expect for 1 minute for UTC to start laying down on this thing. They've got all the talent. They've got some of the best skill people in the Southern Conference. And the one thing about it is when you start getting down like this and they start opening that offense up, you can get burned by the long pass.
Wilburn and Mario Greer in the backfield behind Kenyon Earl from the 20-yard line on first down and 10. On the delay. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Terry Wilburn loses 5 yards.
Thomas Plant slanted through the gap between the center guard and just they should have handed the ball to him.
Watch Big 99.
Watch 99 come right up through the middle there. They try to block down on to open something up. He gets a hand on Wilburn. Does a great job. And here comes Lee Brooks and the rest of the team.
I'll tell you what, Andy Norman did not stand a chance at right guard. As Big Thomas Plant beat him from the start.
I tell you, we got Larry Rogers playing in for Paul Carroll now also, and that's got to be because of Paul's broken hand. He's not the type of guy that comes out for anything.
And Larry Rogers has been making some plays. Play action, roll the pocket, look out, same guy we talked about.
Speaking of Larry Rogers.
Hello, Big 5-0 by 2 plays, and UT Chattanooga has lost 13 yards.
Larry Rogers, Kenyon Earl just rolling out to his right side to set up the pass, and Larry Rogers just stunting through on the blitz. Great, just a great defensive call.
And Michael Morris was holding his ground. Rogers, no ground holding about that.
No
he
ground.
was coming after the quarterback.
So when you just pin your ears back, and it's like big train, little train.
And you knew who won it.
Yeah,
the big train.
The big train.
13-26, Kenyon Earl. I'd be a little disappointed right now with his offensive line. He may have some words for them at halftime as well. Earl to throw, going deep, has a man. Derek Hall caught it at the 45. Dances inside Georgia Southern territory down at the 49-yard line.
And Kevin, what were we just talking about? The fact that when you get somebody backed up against the wall like that and they come out throwing, UTC's got the talent to do it. Pretty good protection that time, and a great on-the-money throw by Kenyon Earl. Now, I'll tell you what, Derek Hall wide open, gets a little juke there and tries to get it on upfield. Great play, gets him out of trouble.
49 yards, you can mark it up. Well, he almost lost the football at the end of that. And if he had hit him in stride, he was going 93 big ones. Nobody was going to stop him.
Nobody was going to stop him. And this tells you how this UTC Moccasin team can strike all of a sudden.
And Kenyon Earl now on the century mark through the air with 5:38 to go in the second quarter. A very big play. It's been all Georgia Southern here in this second quarter. Don't exactly know what our referee Tom Giles Sr. is doing. I tell you what he wants. He wants Georgia Southern to get away from the playing field on their bench.
You see a little bit of see, that was a third and very, very long play, and now you see Georgia Southern doing a little bit of substitution, bringing in some guys. Paul Carroll's back in the game, probably for his leadership ability. You're bringing in a couple of the defensive linemen really to put pressure on that upfield pass. You can't let Kenyon Earl have time to throw the ball. That's what's going to burn you for Georgia Southern.
Counting under 5.5 to go in the first half. 21-7. Georgia Southern leads it. They set up the screen nicely, but knocked away again. Thomas Plant, the senior from Fort Valley, Georgia, been all over the field. Big 99 does it again.
Thomas Plant breaks through the offensive line just in regular pursuit, but gets his hands up there. All of that, I'll tell us, he's 7'5" now. He's tall, bats it down. That's a great play. That's a good way to kind of slow down UTC's momentum also.
An athletic play. He tried to control that. He didn't just have a hand up there and incidentally hit the football. He
back in your face.
As best you can.
Trying to set the screen up to Terry Wilburn. Couldn't do it. Back again. Kenyon Earl going deep again. Oh, incomplete. Coverage step for step as Derek Austin, check it, Marco Bradham, the field corner, junior from Savannah, was step for step with Terrell Owens.
Marco last week had 5 solo tackles and an interception. This guy can play, and he was running stride for stride with Terrell Owens on that.
Say a cornerback has to be the best athlete, our favorite athlete. Let's go down and check in with him. Joe Pequeno. Joe.
Well, Kevin, there's a lot of talk of DeMarco Kemp and Terrell Owens as being the big play weapons for UTC. But last week, Derek Hall caught a 27-yard touchdown pass from backup quarterback Jeff Peters. So Kenyon Earl has a lot of talented ball players to work with on offense. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joe. Whoa, look out. No place to go again. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't have time. Edward Thomas, the sophomore from Atlanta, he's playing with a fractured hand, but that time he went in to try to fracture Kenyon Earl.
And like you said, Kevin, you can't do anything if you don't have time to throw the ball. That's just pressure up the middle.
But Josh Sifkin will come in to punt. Dexter Dawson goes deep. This one not as good, but gets a roll. Inside the 25, you mark it down at the 23, and that's where Georgia Southern will send their offense out onto the field. A punt of 33 yards with 4 minutes, 29 seconds to play. Georgia Southern back on offense, leading at 21-7. Right now, I think, you know that guy right there, Tim Stowers, not breathing any easier, but he's got to like what he's seen so far.
Not breathing any easier. But now if you're Tim Stowers, what you want to do is, instead of coming out and just slinging and scoring it, you want to start chewing up that clock a little bit and give your defensive rest. They've been out there for quite some time.
So first down and 10 from the 23, right up the middle. Goes Roderick Russell. Russell with a touchdown a little bit earlier. Oh, well, I tell you what. When you go, I don't like anything but anchovies.
You think she's sending the plays in?
I doubt it.
Run Russell up the middle.
You think they deliver here? Nobody should be that busy.
Hey, we're living in the 90s, man.
Just under 4 minutes on a moving clock. 21-7, Georgia Southern with the ball and the 14-point lead. Option, cut it up, knocked off his feet nicely.
And here's one of the things you have to watch out for if you're Georgia Southern. You got your third quarterback in, Kenny Robinson, who's a freshman. He's going to pull the ball down and run it sometimes in this option. That's what it's designed to do. But when you do that, you're going to take a big head. And what you don't want to do is lose your quarterback.
45, Chris Carter, the weak side linebacker, senior from Orangeburg, South Carolina, there to make the play. Kenny Robinson, Joe Dupree was the starting quarterback going into the season, actually going into spring training. Charles Bostic was the leading candidate to start for this team. He had reconstructive knee surgery. They'll be lucky if they get him back for the last 3 games of the season. Then Joe Dupree went down a couple of weeks ago. This one is complete. Cutting it back, Dexter Dawson looking to do it again inside the 45 down to the 41-yard line. You know, there's just some people that make big plays, and Dexter Dawson is one of them.
I'll tell you, it's good to be lucky, and it's good to be good. Good throw by Kenny Robinson. Dexter Dawson has a great presence of mind to slip this block, throws a little ghost out there to have him bite on it, and then takes it across the field counterwise to pick up another, what, 15 yards?
Gain of 27 all told.
Talking about Joe Dupree, he's also out with the scope, of course, and he's supposed to be out for, the doctors are saying 2 to 4 weeks, and has something called synovial plica.
He was operated on, like you said, with a scope on Monday. Right up the middle. Roderick Russell, one of those that hit so quickly. Russell down to the 29-yard line. Roderick Russell didn't start this ball game, but he has had a good one.
He's had a big game. He's trying to reestablish himself as a starter. You can see that. Franklin Stevens, Isaac Farrell, and Joey Cushing opening up that inside and letting him run right up the middle. In fact, the referee almost made the tackle. He was so clean through the middle.
70% of his passes complete for Kenny Robinson. But at first down and 10 from the 29, the way they've been moving it on the ground. They roll the pocket. That was a design run play. Robinson cuts it up from the 15 to the 12-yard line. I promise you, Kenny Robinson had absolutely no intention of throwing that football.
That is a great design play to get everybody to bite, to come on up. Watch the 2 lead guards here pulling out around, or actually it's the 2 backs, Roderick Russell and Shafton Fraley pulling up. Kenny Robinson slipping between the 2 blocks, threading the needle and getting on upfield. Nice run.
Gain of 16 yards. So
nice
it'll be
run.
First down and 10 from the 13. Look, right there, he lifts it up as if he's going to just throw a little fake, but tucks it under early.
And he slips right between the 2 blocks. You got to make sure he doesn't get any synovial plaque on him.
And now
we've got a moccasin down on the field.
Yeah, moccasin down on the field. Try to get a number on him.
I think it might be Kenny Parkman, the middle linebacker.
Working on his lower leg. Georgia Southern.
No, it's not. It's
That's Kareem Robinson.
Kareem Robinson, the Raider back. Doing a great job at outside linebacker.
Freshman from Nashville coming off, favoring that left leg.
Georgia Southern really asserting themselves and reestablishing that option attack that they've been known for. Running it, throwing it, running reverses.
Mixing it up. I mean, the selection has been outstanding. Not so much what play was called, but when it was called. So now they try it first down and 10 from the 13. Busted play, flag down, and so is Kenny Robinson inside the 10-yard line. I think this one's going to come back.
Yeah, this flag on the play probably going to be a little holding on the inside. Kind of a busted play with Roderick Russell.
They wave it off. Tom Giles Sr., our referee.
Tom Giles just needing to get on TV a little bit.
I tell you what, though, how about the play? Busted play, all kind of confusion in the backfield, and you pick up 5 on first down.
You know what, though, Kevin? That shows you that when your stuff starts going the right way or the wrong way, that's just how it goes. That's how the ball goes. You got a busted play, and he still picks up, what, 5, 6?
Down to the 7, make it the 8-yard line. The line to make for the first down is the 3-yard line. Robinson, quarterback draw, flag down. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. They make a signal. They're going to say he's down at the 1, but check it, a marker down.
That's got to be a holding call whenever the referees run up there and throw it right at an offensive lineman.
Yep, and it was.
Yeah, it was.
So, UTC and Georgia Southern only a minute 40 to work with. Be huge for them to go up 3 touchdowns into the intermission. Right now, they lead at 21-7.
Actually, some coaches will tell you that, yeah, you want to be as close as you can. Let's listen to the call here.
Holding on the offense. Repeat second down.
Some coaches will tell you that when you get that close to the end zone, you run out of plays because it shrinks the field so much. You only have 2 or 3 things to go. When you get pushed back to about the 20, you still have your whole package. And right now, what are you going to do? You're going to throw it. You're 2nd and 18. You can throw it. You can run it. You can roll out to the option.
7th play of the drive coming up. It'll be 2nd down and 15 from the 20-yard line. Shafton Fraley in motion. Left-hander throws it complete. Dexter Dawson, 15, spins down to the 10-yard line. Mark him down at the 9. Tyrone McKenzie there to make the stop for the Moccasins.
And Kenny Robinson with all the time in the world to set up and play.
Right at you.
Watch Kenny Robinson running. He's going to throw it to you, catch it. And Dexter Dawson, who's been the man of the hour so far. That's a big league move. Dexter Dawson, that's also a good sounding football name, isn't it?
It's easy to say.
Easy to say.
Rolls off the tongue. 2nd down and 6 from the 9. Again, the line to make is the 3-yard line.
2 most important plays in football, 1st down and 3rd down. And unfortunately, Georgia Southern's 3rd down conversion has not really been that good. Right now on 3rd down conversions, they're only averaging about 20.5% for 3rd down.
Dexter Dawson in the first half, he's run with it, he's received it. Had an awesome first half. 68 seconds to play. Georgia Southern takes a timeout. They want to talk it over. Smart timeout by the freshman. You get it in this close. You know, you don't get the ball that often inside the 20-yard line. Once you do, you want to make sure you don't make any silly mistakes in there. So go ahead and call the timeout. It does not cost you anything, especially at the end of the first half.
This is an advantage right now to Kenny Robinson and the Georgia Southern Eagles. Take the timeout, figure out exactly what it is you want to do. Everybody be on the same page. You don't want to have a broken play, even though Roger Russell kind of ran into Kenny Robinson, they still got about 7-8 yards. You want to have something very, very clean. Probably dump it out to Dexter Dawson again, or maybe over to Alfonso Harris. Hadn't seen him catch it in a little bit.
First quarter, Roderick Russell took it in from 8 yards out to put Georgia Southern up 7-0. Second play of the second quarter, Kenyon Earl, a 34-yard touchdown pass to Mario Greer, tied the game at 7. Then Eric Thigpen fell on a blocked punt in the end zone for Georgia Southern. They went up 14-7 and 14 unanswered, thanks to a 24-yard run by Dexter Dawson to make it 21-7. Georgia Southern, who is 7-0 against the University of Tennessee Chattanooga, leading the Mocs of UTC here with 1:08 to play in the second quarter.
Kevin, this is also a really tough spot for a defense. If you're playing against an option type of offense, you can't just pin your ears back and come up because it's 3rd and long. You've got to be disciplined and watch for the option also.
Just got that play off. Look out. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. I don't think that was a quarterback draw, but it sure looked like it.
It sure worked really well. I tell you what, Tim Stowers ought to take credit and say that was a quarterback draw.
Any way you look at it, Tim Stowers is going to say it was a 9-yard touchdown run for his freshman quarterback, Kenny Robinson. And now with 1:02 left, Reed Haley is looking to make it a 28-7 ball game and a 3-touchdown lead for Georgia Southern. Ball down and up and good.
And Kevin, we're seeing Kenny Robinson really establish himself as a starting quarterback for this Georgia Southern team, making things happen.
And it took, you know, last week a tough game. I mean, you get thrown into the fire. You talk about getting thrown into the fire. Go against #1 Marshall. But here you see a little bit more composure by the freshman.
Snap from Kenny Robinson. He just really has a lot of pressure upfield. He just pulls it down and runs. He's got that great athletic ability where he can scoot on into the end zone. Nice job. Kenny Robinson establishing himself as the starting quarterback for the Georgia Southern Eagles.
Like you said, I don't think he could get outside. There was no place to go but up the middle. Made it look like a draw.
Hey, perfect. You know what, though? You're right. Last week when he got the tap before the game and says, hey, Joe Dupree's not going, you're in. You've got to compose all your thoughts. You get out there. Didn't have a lot of help from his supporting cast. And this week he's starting to bring the team up to a level that everybody can play better at. And he's putting points on the board.
So UTC will have 62 ticks to work with. Tobe Taylor and Terry Wilburn back deep. Good look at the freshman Kenny Robinson. He's a red shirter out of Concord, North Carolina. Eric Smith kicks this one deep again.
Tennessee Chattanooga needs some big play, needs something big to happen. It broke a big long run, which you might see right here.
Tobe Taylor from the 3 out to the 33. Georgia Southern fortunate because there was a wedge. Scoring drive, 8 plays, 77 yards. The freshman Kenny Robinson takes it in on a 9-yard touchdown run with 1:02 to go in the first half. A 30-yard return there, though, by Tobe Taylor. And UTC, although they've only got 54 seconds to work with, good field position.
Good field position. Offense is spread left and spread right. You know they're going straight down the field.
4 wide receivers. Almost picked off. Tell you what, UTC very fortunate that Scott Davis, the strong side linebacker, senior out of Powder Springs, Georgia, didn't bring that one back for a few.
And Scott Davis just dropping down into his territory to cover. The ball coming right over his head and through his hands. He knows he would have loved to have had that.
You know, it was Lee Brooks, the nose tackle, 44, that was back there once again applying pressure on Kenyon Earl. You get a good look at Scott Davis. So they tried on 2nd down and 10. 50 seconds left again. Over the middle, complete. Derek Hall. And Hall swarmed on after he picks up half the distance for the first down. A 3rd down and 5 coming up with 37 seconds left. And UTC works without a huddle.
Going into their hurry-up offense, trying to get the ball and use as much of the clock as possible.
Complete out, in and out of the hands. Tell you what, Terrell Owens, he zigged before he zagged. Rather, he was running before he caught the football.
Yeah, he regrets that because he knows he could have caught that, step right out of bounds and stopped the clock and moved his team up the field.
Yeah, more importantly than anything, that was a 3rd down and 5. He went beyond the sticks, which you're supposed to do as a wide receiver. But better watch out here, because I guarantee you Georgia Southern is going to send 10.
Concentration.
This is a beauty. Dexter Dawson has looked like a center fielder all night fielding punts. So from the 9, Dawson down at the 23-yard line with 9 seconds to go in the first half. Georgia Southern, I'm sure, will be content to take it into the locker room, leading 28-7. That was a punt of 53 yards. That's his 3rd punt of the night over 50 yards.
Kid's got a cannon.
I'm telling you. He had a 33-yarder wedged in there too, but
Josh Sheafkin, he's been averaging 40 yards, and that's he's doing nothing but helping his stats tonight.
He's a junior from Atlanta. And Robinson. Now he'll throw it. Why not? Little hitch and go, looking for Alphonso Harris, complete. But I tell you what, Tyrone McKenzie nailed him. Penalty marker down. Probably going to have defensive holding.
Probably a little interference down there. But you saw him give him a little slap on the butt there, saying thanks, hey, great hit. Got to respect that.
A gain of 26 yards.
Defensive holding. High five, Kevin. Good call.
It's on the hitch and go.
Good throw by Kenny. Right on the sideline to Alphonso Harris.
We got a holding on the defense. 1st down.
Tony Ballard got hooked up.
And Harris
with
jumps
Alphonso
up.
Harris.
Harris gives him a little pat. Thanks. Nice hit.
Well, the hit was Tyrone McKenzie, but I think the penalty on 23, Tony Ballard. 1 second to play. And now Georgia Southern will call a timeout. Georgia Southern looking for win number 1 of the season. And they're not used to being 0-3 with Tim Stowers and company down in Statesboro, Georgia. I tell you what, they've never been, since they revived the program a dozen years ago, they've never been 0-3. That man right there, he's taking his lumps early on too at 1-2, but a tough early schedule going to Tuscaloosa, then playing Alcorn State. That is a tough task for anybody.
And Georgia Southern is starting to schedule off pretty tough too with University of Miami in Miami and playing Marshall, who by the way is a great Southern Conference team. But I think Tim Stowers is kind of sending a message out right now that, hey, we've been beaten down, but we're not out, and we're not going to give up on anybody. Not even with 10 seconds left. We're going to come out still slinging the ball, and you better watch out. And this is a message going out to everybody else in the Southern Conference.
Well, they will sling it once more, barring a penalty. 1 second left in the first half. Going for the end zone. and knocked away, and that will do it. 30 minutes of football is in the books, and Georgia Southern leads it 28-7. Dexter Dawson, a big first half. Also, Kenny Robinson, the quarterback, has played outstanding so far for Georgia Southern. Their special teams has been good as well. On the other side, Kenyon Earl to Mario Greer, the only scoring for UTC, a 34-yard touchdown pass. Right now, let's go down to Joe Pequeno standing by. Joe.
Kevin, I'm down here with Coach Tim Stowers of Georgia Southern. Coach, impressive performance in the first half.
Well, we made some things happen in the first half. Had a big punt block. We had a young quarterback make a check on the first score, and when Roderick Russell scored from about 12 yards out, we had a big reverse. And Kenny did a super job of getting the football in the end zone. So we made some things happen. We're still making some mistakes as far as penalties, but we're cutting them down. We finally look like a football team tonight.
Can you talk about the true freshman's performance, Kenny Robinson?
Tell you what, he's been very cool and very calm under pressure. He's made some nice throws. He made a nice check when we scored a touchdown down here early on our first touchdown. He's really done a super job in the first half.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Bye-bye.
All right,
back upstairs, fellas.
Tim Stowers visiting with us here as he heads on off to the locker room. 28-7, big second quarter, 21 points for Georgia Southern, and that's what the difference is. They lead UT Chattanooga. We take a break. We're back to more halftime in just a moment.
Touchdown.
And then Kenyon Earl, though, struck back. Second play of the second quarter, and watch how Mario Greer gets into the end zone.
Mario Greer, typically the go-to guy in short yardage, makes the big play here in the jump to try to get on the highlight film.
That tied the game at 7 apiece, but that would be the only scoring of the night for the Moccasins of UT Chattanooga, because right after that, Georgia Southern comes right back. Willie Ellington with the block, and Eric Thigpen falls on the punt in the end zone, makes it 14-7, and here the pick by Brancis Williams.
Takes up the field, sets things up for Georgia Southern's offense.
Brancis Williams inside the 25-yard line, and this is what they would do from the very next play. From the 24-yard line, Dexter Dawson takes it the distance.
On the reverse, which Dexter Dawson ran and scored a reverse on UTC last year, lightning strikes twice, and he does it again today.
Well, that made it 21-7, but with under a minute left in the game, or in the first half, I should say, Georgia Southern was not through because Lightning, as you said, strikes once again. Kenny Robinson, a 9-yard touchdown run. This capped the scoring to make it 28-7, and that's the way we went to the break at halftime.
Which really looks like a broken play. Kenny Robinson having great presence to pull the ball down and take it in for the score.
And that's the way the first half ended. That's the way the third quarter, needless to say, will start. Numbers from the first half. First downs, that's a real dominating stat right there. You can see who's dominating the line of scrimmage, and GSU is 14 first downs to 6 for UTC.
Look at time of possession is almost equal, though. And on total offensive plays, both teams have 34 plays apiece. The exception is that Georgia Southern has 260 yards. UTC has 129.
And only one turnover apiece on each side. Really, with the exception of the rushing yards, which has been the difference, and we spoke about that a little bit earlier, I think the difference in this ball game has not been on the offensive side of the football, but rather the Georgia Southern defense. And this was a Georgia Southern defense that was allowing 486 yards per game. They returned 5 starters off a defense that was ranked 6th nationally in 1993, but they lost the Southern Conference Player of the Year, Alex Mash. He was a senior. Now look at this. Georgia Southern's total offense coming into this game, 223 yards a contest. Tonight at halftime, already up to 260.
This is the Georgia Southern team everybody's been expecting to see all year long. This is the Georgia Southern team that the coaches picked to finish second behind Marshall in the conference. The thing about it is they came out playing the University of Miami first, which the University of Miami can beat a lot of teams that play on Sunday. They lost to West Georgia, which was really an upset, and then they lose to Marshall. So they played some pretty good teams. Marshall's a great team also. So you're seeing the Georgia Southern team that Tim Stowers expected to have at the beginning of this year.
Warthen and Dexter Dawson back deep. So from the 6-yard line, Warthen. Good return out to the 35. Fastest man on the team. 45 near midfield. Georgia Southern's going to start off in great field position thanks to Marlo Worthen. He averages 23 yards a return, and a big one that time. Takes it from his own 5 all the way out to midfield. A return of 45 yards to start the second half.
And Georgia Southern comes out running, having a great return and keeping momentum on their sideline, which is, you know, if you're UTC, what you're trying to do is do anything that'll establish some momentum on your side, and that's not what you really want there.
Freshman Kenny Robinson bringing the troops to the line of scrimmage. Redshirt freshman at Concord, North Carolina. You see the numbers from the first half, not too shabby for a senior. I would take 9 of 14, over 150 yards from a freshman anytime in the first half. Chris Wright trying to get the corner, won't do it. Down at the 46-yard line, Chris Carter, the weak side linebacker, who's been very active. The senior from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Great pursuit by him. He showed good speed there to run down Chris Wright.
Chris Carter's having a great day, just expanding the field, spreading things out, and keeping this option going wide.
Turned out to be a gain of 5 yards. So from the 45-yard line, a second down and 5.
Also, expect to see the Moccasins start to blitz a little bit more, sending folks more, bringing folks up into the gaps just a little bit more, trying to do anything that'll upset Kenny Robinson, have to make him think a little bit more often.
They'll throw it again, looking for Dexter Dawson, has it. Dawson cuts it up, he's down at the 32-yard line. Brandon Culpepper was out there in man-to-man coverage. He didn't stand a chance, a gain of 13 yards, and let's take a look at it.
Tell you what, Kevin, anytime you can get this kind of pass protection, you're going to be able to throw the ball, especially to a guy like Dexter Dawson that has that kind of ability to get himself open and work the flats like that.
And with that speed, you've got to respect it. You see what he's done already tonight. You've got to respect the speed. So you got to play off of him a little bit. All of a sudden he runs a little 7-yard look in, and then he picks up 7.
You're seeing Brandon Culpepper and Tony Ballard give him a lot of cushion, a lot of room to work from.
So from the 32-yard line, Tyrone Stevens right up the middle, 24-yard line. Finally knocked off there, but big yardage every single time. That's 17 yards in 2 plays, and really the trenches right now are being dominated by Georgia Southern.
That's right, Kevin. Georgia Southern is controlling the line of scrimmage. They're pushing the guys out of the way wherever they really want to go and opening these holes for Tyrone Stevens and Roderick Russell.
32 yards on 6 carries. Big Isaac Farrell, number 70, a senior from Warner Roberts, Georgia, was the lead blocker on that play. A lot of time, all the time in the world, complete. And down at the 10-yard line.
Great throw and catch.
Reginald Garland goes up top and brings it down.
Great vertical by Reginald Garland to get up there and get the ball and bring it on down in his possession. But you know what? You can see Kenny Robinson right now. Watch him walk up to the huddle. Look at him when the camera's in his face. He's got a lot of confidence right now, something you didn't see last week.
And that number 88, first tight end ever signed at Georgia Southern.
Things are changing.
And you know he knew he was going to get nailed too, because Alan Jackson was beating down. Robinson cuts it up to the 5. How was there not a flag on that one? I thought everybody went but the center snap. Maybe the center snap went first. Either way, it was kind of ugly, but it picked up enough to get down to the 5-yard line, where a second down and goal will be coming up.
Anton Goodwire, number 56, is a guy that UTC is really looking for to come into his own and also establish some leadership. I was talking with Rick Witt, the defensive coordinator, last week, and he said that's what this defense really needs, is a leader. Nobody has really stepped up to kind of take on that responsibility, and they're looking for it from Anton Goodwire.
Robinson nearly 5 yards a carry. From the 5 on 2nd and goal. Robinson rolls the pocket, cuts it up. Maybe a gain of 1. Again, that man, 45, Chris Carter, there to make the play. He's been all over the place here on this opening drive, not to mention the entire game.
Chris Carter is doing a great job of stringing this thing out. And what you see Chris Carter doing is playing very, very deep, very, very disciplined defense. In an option type of offense, every man has a responsibility. You have to play that responsibility. You can't do more than what you're supposed to do, or the man's going to score. The offense is going to score with the ball.
Well, 3rd down and 4. Third down and goal from the 4-yard line. Big Tyrone Stevens in the backfield. They hand it to him. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Great play. You can see this back block by Franklin Stevens on Stephen Kerman. I tell you what, that was the thing that sprung Tyrone Stevens. Great job.
So it took 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Georgia Southern, after, don't forget, a big kickoff return to midfield by Dexter Dawson. And now, 50 yards later, they stick it in. Reed Haley, perfect on the extra point, makes it 35-7. Georgia Southern having their way with the Mocs of Tennessee Chattanooga. 10:55 to go, third quarter. We come back in Chattanooga in just a moment tonight on Sports South. 7, Georgia Southern looking strong.
Great back block by Franklin Stevens and a great trap block by Isaac Farrell. Springs Tyrone Stevens right into the end zone. Good job to the offensive line. Those Hoggies just don't get enough. They don't get enough attention, you know.
Well, they will if you keep doing these games. It's the way it is with you old offensive linemen. From Jessup, Georgia, 6 foot 230 pounds. He's a senior. 7-play drive, 50 yards, took 4:05 off the clock. And Stevens with the touchdown. You know, so far tonight, 5 different Georgia Southern Eagles have scored touchdowns.
Well, they're sharing the wealth, aren't they?
Spreading
Everybody's
around.
getting a piece of the action.
So Tobe Taylor wisely takes a knee 5 yards deep in his own end zone.
You know, Kevin, Joe brought something up that was important. The fact that there's 3 coaching changes in 3 years here at UTC. It's something that is probably the most disruptive thing in college football is a coaching change. Yeah, there's a disruption when you lose your seniors, and yeah, there's a disruption when you have injuries. But when you have a coaching change and a change of philosophy and the guys have to learn a whole new system, that is probably the most biggest distraction to any player there is.
Well, they've had to contend with it. Like you said, 3 years in a row. Kenyon Earl, quick drop, finds Terrell Owens. And there's going to be, oh man, you get a good play, and now this one's going to come back. A block in the back. It was right in front of the official. Stan Sullivan, number 5, came in trying to free Terrell Owens, but this is going to cost UT Chattanooga 10 yards.
And the referee's right on top of that play. This is what we're talking about. When you start getting down, you start getting a little frustrated. You try to do anything to help your team instead of just really working on your fundamentals and your assignment, and you kind of get burned with something like this.
Now it's going to be a matter of what they call here, because they could call a clip or they could call even an illegal use of hands.
Look at the clipping on the offense. Repeat first down.
Watch number 5 come into your picture.
That was just about as blatant a clip as you can possibly get.
It's a clip. Not only the clip comes when you start hitting them below the waist from behind. You can get away, a push in the back is only 5 yards, but when you start hitting somebody low from behind, then you start getting into a situation where you can really hurt somebody.
That's when you get some Sonova Plike on you.
There you go. If you're lucky, Sonova Plike. Michael Morris there to make the stop. Big guy has been tough tonight.
Michael Morris is going to get a sticker for his helmet. He keeps playing like this.
Watch big number 91.
Does not bite on the down block. It just comes right across the line and reads it.
Mario Greer didn't stand a chance. And right now it's just a much bigger Georgia Southern defensive line, just manhandling a much smaller UT Chattanooga offensive line. They're 2nd down and 21. Kenyon Earl again looking for Terrell Owens. Now they go underneath. DeMarco Kemp has the football out to the 15-yard line. So
the one thing you can't do if you are Georgia Southern right now is start to rest upon your laurels. You can't think that, hey, we've got them down 35-0 and we're going to go home like this. In other words, sitting on the lead. Because these guys have got the skill folks that can really strike and attack at any time. You've got DeMarco Kemp. You've got Kenyon Earl can run the ball. Tobe Taylor, Derek Hall, Terrell Owens.
Mario Greer, transfer from Clemson. I mean, you know, all the way around. Although right now, it may be the spirit of UTC that's hurt as much as anything.
I think you're absolutely right about that. You can see the wind kind of go out of the sails here. And Georgia Southern continually getting
And that's been the difference right there.
Right there.
You got it. Thomas Plant getting in there. Michael Morris, also big 95. J.T. Profit, transfer from Notre Dame.
And this is just a jailbreak. You got great upfield force by the entire defensive line of Georgia Southern.
So Josh Sifkin, who has been very impressive tonight from the back of his own end zone. This one will come to Dexter Dawson from the 44-yard line. Dawson gets a block and he's down. And now a flag comes in from the 34-yard line. So this is going to back Georgia Southern up back around midfield.
He got a little shove in the back by D.T. Tanner.
So the 48-yard punt, another good punt. One of the less spectacular punts on the night for Josh Sifkin. That says something when you look at a 48-yarder. Georgia Southern has the football when we come back. 8:23 to go, third quarter. 35-7 our score. Georgia Southern making a statement in the third quarter with 8:23 to go. First down and 10. It's been a long night, or at least since the first quarter has been over. Buddy Green and company. Up the middle goes Tyrone Stevens. Stevens for a couple.
And
now
Kevin,
8:15 on a moving clock.
And Kevin, on the Georgia Southern side, you're starting to see some pretty clean uniforms out there, which means they're starting to roll in some of the substitutes. Some of the second teamers start getting some playing experience throughout their entire team. Tristan Belzer is back in for the first time. Did not play last week. He's been injured with a rib problem, number 82, but you might see him a little in the game a bit.
I think he's enjoying this second half more than any second half he's enjoyed in
this year.
Quite
that's for
some
sure.
time, that's for sure. At least the second half in which he was coaching. So second down and 7 after the pickup of 3 by Tyrone Stevens. Run the option, Shafton Fraley on the pitch back. Nice block by Tyrone Stevens, but again, a marker comes in. If we get a chance to look at this one, big 35 just lay the cornerback out. And a marker comes in from across the way.
Tyrone Stevens can do it all. He can run the ball and he can block. He's one of these like mini hogs. He can go block like that.
Yeah, at 6 foot 218 is like having a fire plug in the backfield, almost throwing a smaller offensive lineman back there.
When you play fullback and you get to throw those blocks like that, you know, usually your offensive linemen, they'll give you rides. They'll bring you back lunch from Burger King and stuff like that.
Have a clipping on the offense. Repeat second down.
Tom Giles Sr. with the call. I think I've seen more clips tonight than I have in 3 years.
Shafton Fraley, who's not had a whole lot of time. Big block, big run.
Just out of the screen. You saw 35 coming down.
You know, Kevin, one of the things Tim Stowers is still going to be stressing these guys, like we're saying, yeah, he's kind of relaxing because he's ahead right now. But you can't be making those penalties. You're never going to get better if you keep making penalties and you keep shooting yourself in the foot. I'm sure he won't be standing for that.
Down to 7 minutes left. Robinson steps tall in the pocket. Shafton Fraley, big-time catch inside the 35 at the 34. And when you say a big-time catch, when you stretch a guy out like that, you know he's going to pay the price. He goes up and gets the football.
Receivers hate this, quite honestly. When a quarterback throws it up, you got to expose all your ribs in the middle of the 3 folks. We got a flag down on the play here. They're going to be bringing it back, it looks.
A holding call.
But a great play by Shafton Fraley. Shafton also been bummed up with hurt hand or something like that. I believe.
Yeah, he's in a soft cast right now. Did you see they brought it back again on the holding call? Here's Tom Giles Sr. to make the call.
Holding on the offense. Repeat second down.
Now it's starting to get a little bit sloppy.
Tom Giles Sr. earning his pay tonight, huh?
Yes, he is. Well, the Eagle is landing, I should say. Landing right now on UTC as they are up 35-7.
If they get up much further, the Eagle may be going in.
Well, I'd put my money on the mock right now because we know we have privileged information.
That's right.
The man has his game face on. We saw him get his ankles taped before tonight's game.
You know, it's a serious game when the mascot's getting taped up.
Tyrone Stevens down to the 40-yard line. As we go down to 6.5 to play.
Tyrone Stevens having just a workhorse of a night, and his offensive line doing everything they can to help him out here. And Georgia Southern doing exactly what we expected them to do. Come out here, really try to control the football and run that clock out.
So at the 40-yard line and third down. Boy, I tell you, that's the second half, too. Lead option. Shafton Fraley. 45, tripped up to the 46-yard line. So Georgia Southern will do something they haven't done a whole lot tonight. They will punt. And again, Chris Carter gives that young man a game ball tonight. 45, 6'2", 230-pound senior has played an outstanding ball game.
And that tells you a little bit about what Buddy Green told him at halftime, and that's never, never, never quit.
Eric Smith, the punt for the second time tonight. Gets it away and booms this one. Brian Davenport. Davenport out across the 25-yard line out to the 27. So UTC will be on offense, but first we're going to take a break with 5 minutes, 24 seconds to go, third quarter. Georgia Southern leading it big. Bright spot in what has been a dim night for University of Tennessee Chattanooga, as Chris Carter, senior, has played a whale of a ball game. 5:24 to go, third quarter. Georgia Southern leading at 35-7. It's been out on Kevin Eschenfelder. Mario Greer out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. New quarterback in the ball game for Tennessee Chattanooga. Jeff Peters, 6'1", 185-pound sophomore. He's from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Played in 2 games so far this season. That completion right there makes him 8 of 15, but he's thrown 2 INTs and a touchdown pass over the middle. DeMarco Kemp can't hold on. May have short-hopped that one.
And you see the type of pressure they're under right now. The fact that they're going into the hurry-up offense. They pull Kenyon Earl out and go ahead and put Jeff Peters in. And Jeff came in for Kenyon against Alcorn State when Kenyon got his ribs bruised.
Well, you know, right now there's no secret what you're going to do. 35-7 in the third quarter. You're going to stand back there 7 yards deep, and you're going to throw the football.
Let the thing sling and hope your offensive line holds up.
Underneath, Terrell Owens, he's nailed by Scott Davis, but holds on to the football. Should be close to a UTC first down. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think UTC has had a first down here in the second half. It is a first down. So you get a little bit of new blood. You see the numbers that's coming into the night right now. He's 2 of 2 this evening. They're going no huddle.
And this no huddle offense will prevent Georgia Southern from really making any kind of substitutions they want for game situations.
And you know what I think else? It does something else. Kind of ups the tempo. Things have really slowed down. It's almost like, you know, in a basketball, you set up in your half court a few times, but every once in a while you got to just run it and let it go on the fast break. Kind of ups the tempo. And I think the offense has gotten a little bit lethargic.
And the tempo has all been Georgia Southern so far. So anything you can do to kind of change it around and get, get momentum on your side, whatever it takes. They're holding hands right now in the huddle, whatever it is. You know, let's get together. Let's try and get the job done. Everybody do what they have to do, but let's move the ball.
4 wide receivers in the game. Mario Greer, the single setback behind Jeff Peters. Swings it out a little bit wide.
Had a really nice swing pass set up. Just overthrew Mario Greer just a little bit.
And, you know, I would think coming in the third quarter after sitting for the first 30 minutes plus, that'd be the toughest pass to throw, is the little touch pass like that. It'd be a little bit easier just to gun it over the middle.
Actually, those swing passes like that to your outlet passes, whatever, to your tailbacks, it's a tough pass because it is. It's all touch. But he had 3 blockers out in front of him. That's the good news. Bad news is bad pass.
So they try it now on third down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Peters again. Peters. They run for the first down and more. Out near midfield of the 49-yard line. Let's go down to Joe Pequeno. Joe.
I think, Joe, the guy's kind of duking it out over there, huh?
4:21, a gain of 15 by Peters. Peters again from the gun. Pumps once, throws this one incomplete.
But this is what they're looking for. The Moccasins are looking for just some kind of spark, and it looks like Jeff Peters has given it to them. You know, Kevin, this also gives Kenyon Earl a chance to kind of sit down, sit back, see what they're doing, and kind of regain his composure.
Well, the way right now Jeff Peters is moving this football team, I say you go ahead and you keep with what, you know, What they say, you dance with who brung you, and right now the offense is moving a little bit more than it had. It's moved more on this drive than it has in the entire second half.
And Kenyon Earl is standing back off the sideline, so it doesn't look like he's fixing to go in anytime soon.
Carroll Owens on the middle screen. Owens. That's a foot race. Carroll Owens. Touchdown UTC. How about that? A 52-yard touchdown from Jeff Peters, his second touchdown pass of the season.
Now this is how you make something happen, Kevin. This is how you make something happen. And a great catch by Owens, by Terrell Owens.
So finally, the UTC faithful have something to cheer about.
But Terrell Owens actually missed out on the Alcorn State game, was more or less under 1-game suspension for personal reasons. But it looks like he's coming back and really redeeming himself amongst this team of his.
Rod Godoy knocks it through. Let's take a look at it from 52 yards out. Just a simple middle screen.
Jeff Peters making something happen. Terrell Owens going up with the one-hand grab and then just cutting off, and some great cross-field blocking by his offensive line. Nobody on this UTC Moccasins team has given up. And then it just turns into a foot race. Who's faster? Terrell Owens has the size, and it propels him over the line. Marco Branham almost getting him out there at the 1.
Yeah, I tell you what, Marco Branham made that a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
And Terrell's excited to be here on the team, isn't he?
So it's a lot more fun than serving those suspensions. He's from Alexander City, Alabama. And Buddy Green for the first time in some time tonight.
And they got the tomahawk chop going up here.
You got the Mocks, man.
Got the Moccasins. They're back in the game. That's what you want, though, is really to show your team that you never quit. No matter how far down you get, you're here to play football for 60 minutes.
I think that would be more disappointing to a coach than just getting your tail kicked. I think just somebody coming out and quitting is what really would bother a coach more than anything.
You got to realize, too, this is a pretty young Moccasin team here. You're looking to establish some credibility.
Onside kick, look out. Chad Nybert with one man to beat. Oh, my.
I tell you what, when things are going your way, they're going your way. Georgia Southern definitely has them going their way, Kevin.
He's a freshman from Frankfurt, Germany.
You know what, when you think about it, what a great coaching call, though. You come back, you get a little momentum on your side, you get the big touchdown. Let's onside kick it and see if we can get the ball back and keep things rolling our way. Instead, you get snake bit.
Well, the first time in 2 years that Georgia Southern has taken a kickoff back for a touchdown. Only the third in school history. I bet it's the first one by a linebacker.
Chad Nybert is getting high fives all the way around.
I've never seen that happen.
You gotta love those big guys running football, you know?
You see those numbers in the 50s and you just light up.
You can see, well, let's watch this. Onside kick, not too good. Actually, great call, because this is not the hands team. And he picks up and runs it. At first, you're just like, where should we go? Go to the end zone. That's where you go, Chad.
42 yards. It's only the third time in school history.
Look at that. Hold the ball up. That's me.
Hey, he needed to take the helmet off. He's a linebacker. He's a blue-collar guy. He doesn't do that stuff.
No.
That's amazing. So what hope that UTC brought into this crowd has just been extinguished, at least again for the moment, with 3:52 to go. Still a lot of football left, but
I'll tell you what, though, Kevin, I think that was a great coaching call for when the play was called for an onside kick. You've got that energy kind of going, a little bit of emotion up after the touchdown. You're not out of it. I take my hat off to Buddy Green. Unfortunately, it just didn't work, and you had a great guy with wonderful hands like Chad Nybert there to catch the ball.
Played at American High School in Frankfurt, Germany.
I've seen these linebackers catch, Kevin. 9 times out of 10, that'll hit him right in the face mask.
It's just, what is it? You know what Nybert would say right now? It's a good thing it wasn't an offensive lineman down there.
Oh, yeah.
Or UTC'd have the football. His father was in the military. Tobe Taylor back deep. And Tobe, why not bring it out? Oh, that's why you don't bring it out. Out to the 10-yard line and no more. You know, either you do it or you don't. That's one thing about it.
You know, they always say if you're really not sure what to do, go do it full speed. What you don't want to have happen is hesitate like this, and that cost him 10 good yards, I'm sure.
And just out to the 10-yard line. And when you're in a situation like this, down 42-14, take every break you can possibly make for yourself. And right now, UTC is just not making a whole lot. Flip side of that, though, Jeff Peters was impressive on the last drive. We'll see if he can pick it up again. I like this kid. He's got nice touch because Georgia Southern's defensive line up front flags come in. Maybe a personal foul late one way or the other. But Georgia Southern's got these big defensive linemen who are getting their hands up, and he's really having to touch it right over the top of the defensive line as he sets these screens and crossing patterns underneath.
That was the same play that Terrell Owens scored on down the other end of the field. And you got to kind of watch going to the well too many times, because a guy like Britt or Paul Carroll is going to come up and snag that thing right out of the air.
Not good. Half the distance to the goal after you pick up yardage. And that, and again, is another thing that will kill coaches.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, it's second down.
You know what's happening right here, Kevin, is they're just getting frustrated. Buddy Green's frustrated, the offense is frustrated, your offensive line is frustrated, and they're going to try and take it out on someone. The thing about it is you can't take it out on them in the wrong way. You got to get it, you got to be disciplined, you have to have mental toughness. If you're going to dish it out, do it when the snap of the ball.
It has been one of those nights for Tennessee Chattanooga. Peters picked off.
Derek Austin running it down. Looks like he's got 6.
And he does. Derek Austin. Talk about your ways to score. They call him the most improved player on the defense, a sophomore from Milledgeville, Georgia. Makes it 48-14.
Jeff Peters was going for a big strike that time, throwing it all the way downfield. Derek Austin playing great defense, step for step, and just takes it out of the air, runs it all the way back. He's got a story to tell his grandkids now.
Well, you know, how many different ways can you score? Well, good heavens.
You can't
They've scored on an end around. They've scored on blocking a punt, recovering it in the end zone. They've run back an interception for a touchdown. I guess the only thing they're missing right now to run the gamut
is the Eagle, is the mascot.
Him to score and to, I guess, to run a fumble back for a touchdown.
Nice protection and a nice throw by Jeff Peters. Lays out, it hangs just a little bit and gives the defender Derek Austin time to get under the ball. A little underthrown. He just turns on the speed and
right up the gut, or right down the
right down the sideline.
And now it just like that, 49-14. This, you know, the score was 7-7. They're 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, 7-7 after the second play of the second quarter, and it has just erupted since then.
Georgia Southern has come on strong.
Joe Pequeno standing by down on the field. What do you think about this one? Well, Kevin, the scoreboard is kind of getting out of hand, sort of like last season. Last year in a 45-0 victory at Paulson Stadium, Georgia Southern converted three mock turnovers into 21 points. Tonight, the Mocs turned the ball over 2 times, leads to 14 points by the Eagles. Back upstairs, gentlemen.
In the words of that great philosopher, it's like deja vu all over again.
You know what, on every coach's board, they keep track of everything, you know, yardage, first downs, time of possession. One of the things they also keep track of is turnovers. How many you get of their fumbles and how many you give away. And any coach will tell you that you will have a winning season if you have more takeaways than the other guys do. Right now, Georgia Southern's making up for a whole lot of penalties and a whole lot of fumbles in the first 3 games.
I know in the NFL that is a direct status. You take it directly back to your statement because it is a fact.
Yeah, it'll show your wins and losses.
You take away more than you give, you're going to have a winning season.
It's real interesting too, Kevin, because last week after the loss to Marshall, the fans at Georgia Southern, I know there was a lot about the team going on about, is this what's happening? They're just not used to losing football games. And I think this is the team Tim Stowers originally thought he had at the beginning of the season. And it's starting to show itself.
Mario Greer cuts it up. Mario Greer out to the 37-yard line, to the 38. Nice pickup with 2:55 left in the third quarter. Georgia Southern leading at 49-14. Take a look at it.
Nice little swing pass by Peters out to Mario Greer. Greer's got some great blocking out front, and Mario does what every good back does, follow the big guys.
Pretty self-explanatory after that. Gain of 15 yards on the play.
Jermaine Sellers out there in front of him.
Complete. Derek Hall steps out of bounds. Joe Pequeno, let's check in with you.
Well, Kevin, I'm down on the field, and as you know, there's the game within the game. And the scoreboard is getting out of hand, but the question is, who is going to win the battle of the mascots? I have the Georgia Southern Eagle here and the mock chief. The question is, who wins the war? I see a little karate going on. Plenty of time on the scoreboard, but the action is right here on the sidelines. Back upstairs, gentlemen.
The mock looks like he's doing a little taekwondo down there.
And we know he's got his feet taped.
He does have his ankles taped, so I think it's an unfair advantage.
Watch his feet. He'll kill you with his feet.
There you go.
Remember that at a Billy Jack? We're really reaching back now.
Oh, they're going to bring the chains from across the way to measure this one.
So it's a situation like this, when it's this close, give it to him.
You know, I told the story to you during the last break. Northwestern State and Northeast Louisiana, both schools from Louisiana, not very far apart, a very long-lasting rivalry. Well, one day the two mascots went into the end zone, and they got into it. They were playing at first, all of a sudden one grabbed the other, and next thing you know, they broke the cardinal rule of being a mascot, and one of them pulled the head off the other one.
Never. That's rule number one. Never take off your head if you're the mascot.
You learned that the first day of mascot school.
First day.
One of the first things they teach you.
Rule number two, don't forget rule number one.
There you go.
Leave the head on.
Just a little word for the wise down there to keep the peace with those guys, Joe. So 2.5 to play, 49-14. It was enough for the first down, incidentally. From midfield. Underneath, they throw it complete. Carroll Owens, a gain of 4 yards on the play. Carroll Owens, a junior from Alexander City, Alabama, came into the game with 3 receptions. And as Ben said, he missed a game against Alcorn State 2 weeks ago. Again from the gun, no huddle. Throw it, DeMarco Kemp, nice job, lays out and catches the football with his hands.
Great catch by DeMarco Kemp, showing the reason why he is the tight end that he is. Can catch, can block, can do it all. Jeff Peters running this offense very, very well right now, out of the no huddle.
Now 3rd down and 2. Got to think first down here. They do. Gets out of bounds. Derek Hall with the nice catch, a little out route. Now, is it so much right now, is Georgia Southern sitting back in a bit of a prevent defense, or are they just moving the football?
I think they're just moving the football, but we know that they have the skill position on UTC to move the ball and do whatever they want. It's really a matter, I think, of how they were getting beat on the front line earlier in the game, and the domination by both the offensive line of Georgia Southern and the defensive line of Georgia Southern.
So far tonight, he has already completed 3 more passes than he has all season. Came in 7 of 14. Right now, he's got 10 completions. Does Jeff Peters. The 1st down and 10 from the Georgia Southern 35. Swing it out, Mario Greer. Held up by Marco Bradham and taken down at the 27-yard line. But again, positive yardage, a gain of 7 for University of Tennessee. Chattanooga with 1:20 on a moving clock in the 3rd quarter, trailing 49-14.
You know, earlier I was talking about the fact that most coaches will tell you that the two most important plays in football are 1st and 3rd down. 1st down, you got to get enough so you can make your 3rd down easy to get that next 1st down. And that is exactly what UTC is doing here tonight.
Throw it underneath, complete the big tight end. Down to the 15-yard line. That's Todd Prater. First time we've seen him tonight. 240 freshman out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. His first catch of the night. A pickup of 11, and the drive continues. 1st down and 10 from the 15 with 58 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
And Georgia Southern making a couple substitutions on defense, trying to stop this moccasin drive.
That's when you get into that no-huddle offense. Throwing to the end zone, complete touchdown, UTC, Derek Hall from 15 yards out.
I'll tell you what, the moccasins are not going to lay down for anybody.
Tell you what, if they move the ball like that in the 4th quarter, don't go away.
Yeah. Interesting, because the defensive linebackers of Georgia Southern are given a nice little cushion. I think Rob Stockton made a break for the ball.
Brian Simpson has it blocked. So no good.
Another play by the Georgia Southern special teams, just asserting themselves.
That was Brian Simpson, the junior from Chattanooga, to try the extra point. But here's the touchdown. Just enough to get it to Derek Hall, and steps into the end zone. Junior from Alexander City, Alabama.
I tell you what, you got to take your hat off to Jeff Peters, because he is running this UTC offense very, very well.
He got a stronger arm, it looks, than Kenyon Earl.
Now, would you come back with an onside kick again, Kevin?
Probably not this time I scored. So if I did, I would make darn sure that if somebody did catch it, they weren't going to take it backwards.
That's not going to be someone with great hands like 58.
So,
but look here, but Georgia Southern brings out their, well, it looks a little bit like a hands team.
They've got
all the guys up front that have good hands.
Hey, maybe Chad Nybert is on the hands team.
Chad might be on there.
Buddy Green has had things to at least to be positive about tonight. They're getting beat by 29 points. And they try it again, and guess who's there again? Chad Nybert again. Didn't take this one back for the spectacular. Now he just cut his, with that 0-yard return, he just cut his return average in half. 9-play, 76-yard drive. And Jeff Peters very impressive on that last drive for UT Chattanooga. Last year, as we said, these two teams met. Georgia Southern won it 45-0. Tonight, the 49 points, the most points ever scored in this series. And Robinson's going to stay in, even with a 29-point lead. I guess you just want to keep your freshman in there. You got to give him all the experience that you can. Plus, I know this, that Grady Blanchard, who is their backup quarterback, who's really the number 4 quarterback as far as the program is concerned, they want to redshirt him.
Right. You don't want to have to play if you can help it. But Kenny Robinson is in along with the rest of the starters, the offensive line, the running backs. This is the whole starting unit for Georgia Southern. And you know what? Kenny Robinson can use the experience. It's not like he's going to be in there by himself with a bunch of other freshmen right now. He can use the experience of running this offense.
Marlo Worthen cuts it up.
This guy's impressive. Marlo Worthen is very, very impressive. I think you see a lot of big games out of him.
Last week versus tonight, 48-yard difference in total offense, and he still has a quarter and 23 seconds to go. There you go again on Dexter Dawson. Great job. Dexter Dawson, one man to beat. Flags down, and Dawson is down at the 1-yard line. It's going to come back. There's an illegal block at about the 7-yard line. But as you see where Dexter Dawson caught this pitch, he had to immediately make a cut.
Spectacular personal effort by Dexter Dawson, just to elude the defensive lineman that was in the backfield, get it on the field, hurdle one guy, only to have the thing called back.
Well, at least it will be a spot foul, so they will call it from the spot of the infraction. Should only back it up about to
the illegal use of the hands, pushing in the back against the offense. Be first down. First down.
It starts with the pitch.
Starts with the pitch. Now watch the leakage on the backside, and the nice little juke by Dexter Dawson to cut in between the two, Chris Carter being one of them, and then he just heads on upfield. Nice block by Roderick Russell there, and a good hurdle by Dexter Dawson to move him on in.
Well, Corey Wright was right there in the backfield. He was the first man he had to juke. And you know he wanted to put it in the end zone, but fell a little bit short. So 3 down, 1 to go. Georgia Southern looking like a very good football team. They lead at 49-20. We're back for the fourth quarter in just a moment.
Wake Forest and Notre Dame.
Freshman in the football game. Hands off right up the middle. No place to go for Roderick Russell.
I think the UTC Mocs have kind of caught on to that one. No more bones tonight.
Well, from a standpoint of time clock management, though, why not go ahead and just lay it there between the hashes, let some time run off the clock. Now you get into another facet where your freshman learns a little bit more. You can look at You can look at a veteran quarterback as you take a look at the numbers. Coming into tonight, 223. Tonight, 307 yards. And yes, in fact, the Eagle has finally landed. Tennessee Chattanooga, I'm sure, just wishes it would have landed another night, because I think this is going to be a different football team from here on out. Marlo Worthen, 10-yard line, spins inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Great second effort. And
another
guess
flag
what?
down.
I know you're not going to believe this.
What?
A flag is down on the play.
Unbelievable. Hasn't happened all night. I'll tell you, Marlo Worthen is very, very impressive. He is impressive after he gets hit the first time. The guy never slows down. He'll get hit and then always get more yardage.
Illegal use of the hands against Georgia Southern. Something they wanted to improve on after last week. To give you an idea how tough it was, or how bad, I should say, Georgia Southern was, to be quite frank with you, about their penalties. Opening kickoff, Marshall.
On the offense, we'll repeat second down.
Marshall takes the opening kickoff at their own 6-yard line. Great coverage down. You're at home. You got the opening kickoff. You stop the team back at their own 6. They're offsides. Offsides 3 consecutive times on the opening kickoff. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the night. And it ended up where Marshall started their first drive from near midfield.
And this should also be an area where Kenny Robinson, in order to establish himself as a starter, really starts telling the team, look, let's play clean. Let's play very, very good fundamental football. No penalties, no mistakes.
And all that went incomplete. Alfonso Harris trying to hold on.
But you've got to cut down on penalties. That'll end up killing you in any close game. This fortunately for Georgia Southern, is not a close game. But if it is, those are the kind of things that kind of turn it.
144 yards worth of penalties. 17 markers have been flying tonight between the two teams. Georgia Southern penalized for 84 yards. UT Chattanooga for 60.
Refs are going to have to ice down those elbows from reaching into the pocket and pulling it out so much.
Now you say, why do you have so many mistakes like that? Well, some people say that youth does it. And Georgia Southern can definitely file that argument. This one, Dexter Dawson has it at the 1, and that is where you stop. Dexter Dawson has been inside the 5 3 times tonight and hasn't gotten in the end zone.
This is a big league play by Kenny Robinson, though. Big league play to pull it down, pumps the ball, pulls it down, and then still fires a strike to Dexter Dawson. Watch this. Pulls it down, pumps it, and back up top.
A gain of 16 yards to the 1.
Great catch by Dexter Dawson.
So you think about it.
From Camilla, Georgia.
Okay, Georgia Southern has scored 7 touchdowns tonight. One person on this team has not scored 2, so it has been 7 touchdowns by 7 different people until now, when Kenny Robinson takes it in for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
It is amazing to see the confidence of this young man just blossom in front of us. Going from last week was really got a tap on the shoulder. Hey, you're in, kid. Go ahead and run it. To it was really had a lot of center quarterback exchange problems, a lot of bad checkoffs. To what he's doing right now, which is running this team like he's been doing it for years.
And Reed Haley coming in to try to complete his 8th extra point of the night. And he does it, and does it well. So right now, Reed Haley is 77 of 78 in his career on extra points. So we take a break. 13:01 to go. 4th quarter, Georgia Southern leads it 56-20. We're back to Chattanooga in just a moment. Down to the night tonight by James Robinson as he takes it in from a yard out. Just follow the big guys.
Just follow the big guys. And Kenny Robinson doing exactly what he knew he could do a week ago, but in much better fashion.
Toby Taylor lets it go, and wisely so. So 13:01 to go, 56-20. Let's go check in with Joe Pequeno. Joe.
Well, Kevin, what you're seeing tonight is a very well-balanced Georgia Southern team on every facet. Offense, defense, and special teams. You can't count them out of this Southern Conference race with the parity this year. You have Marshall at 3-0, Eastern Tennessee State at 3-0, Western Carolina at 2-1 in the conference. And let's not forget, there's plenty of time for this Georgia Southern team to get healthy and knock off some people toward a 2nd title run. Back upstairs.
Thank you. Maybe defending champions if they were to win it here. moves.
Folks down South Georgia have to be impressed with this performance by their Georgia Southern Eagles tonight.
Terrell Owens paid the price. I tell you what, who was it? Marco Bradham just nailed it. Yeah, that's what happens. One of those cornerbacks holds the receiver up, and the linebackers and the linemen just come in with about a good 6 yards of momentum going. There, Peters finally is pressured, and Mario Greer will lose 3 yards. That's been a difference. I don't know if it's been the quarterback, the play call, you know, because you can run plays that are going to be shorter routes, quicker to get rid of the ball. I don't know if it's been the quarterback eyeing his receivers quicker, but there's just been more time here for Peters than it was for Kenyon Earl.
Been a little bit more time for Peters, but even with him, he's got a lot of pressure in his face, a lot of white jerseys around him, forcing him to throw the ball early.
A flag down as DeMarco Kemp makes the catch at the 39-yard line. I like the way DeMarco Kemp catches the football. It's going to be an illegal block, I think.
Dude, he can do just about everything. We know he's a great blocker. He's also shown us that he can catch the ball too. He's got the size and he's got the speed. This guy could be a good pro ball player. He's only a junior.
Defensive holding, the call.
That's all right. I don't think it's going to swing the game right now.
I think the game has been swung.
Holding on the defense. First down.
But I like the way DeMarco Kemp catches the football. Watch how he catches the ball with his hands. Look at this. All hands.
All hands. He's watching it come right into his hands, taking it. He knows what to do. He knows to get out of bounds and stop that clock.
The defensive holding, by the way, came a little bit further downfield. Wasn't the intended receiver who was really being held. It was Mario Greer. Down to the 42-yard line.
Jeff Peters, you see this is when the quarterback and the wide receiver have to be on the same page. They're both watching the defense. They both watch Scott Davis come hot off the outside corner, and then it becomes a timing route.
11:50 to go. The clock has stopped. We're in the fourth quarter. 56-20, Georgia Southern leading by 36 points. They're going deep. Peters and Terrell Owens, foot race. Marco Bradham had step-for-step coverage once again. So it'll come back. Georgia Southern right now has got to be thinking, I just want to get the football back, keep the ball between the hashes, run some time off this clock, get on that bus and get back to Statesboro.
That's a great play, though, with a second and short like that, 2nd and 2. Go ahead and go for it all, because you know that on 3rd down, you're most likely going to go ahead and pick up that 1st down.
And if nothing else, you're going to have 2 downs to pick up 2 yards. Everybody coming. Underneath it goes complete. Derek Hall. Nice job getting rid of the football by Peters. Let's go down and check in with Joe Pequeno.
Well, Kevin, even the scoreboard is not as close as we'd want it. You can't kill the enthusiasm of the fans here. Look at these two guys. They might be doing a road show with Hammer soon, or Dion. They've got the talent. Somebody signed those kids. Back upstairs.
Folks, these are the things you talk about when you got a 36-point ball game. 56-20. They throw it downfield and incomplete. Intended for Joe Pequeno.
On the previous play, Kevin, Georgia Southern had almost everybody up on the line coming, and what they were looking for was to get Derek Hall open. Great job by Derek Austin just to hang on to him from breaking wide open, but if he got past him, it would have been a score.
So UT Chattanooga next week doesn't get any easier. They go to Huntington, West Virginia from Marshall. And Georgia Southern a chance to go 2-0 as they will be in Statesboro, the friendly confines where they like to play football. They will be taking on VMI. Screen, Mario Greer. Greer hit and brought down. Marco Bradham, the cornerback, junior from Savannah, came up. He's the field corner on this defense and made the play.
You know, when you saw Derek Reeves, number 89, bust through the offensive line like that, anytime a defensive lineman comes through that clean, he's got to know. He's got to start thinking, hey, this is a screen. Nobody lets me come through this easy. And he should have started backpedaling up, but the mock set it up very, very well.
So call it 3rd down and 9, and Jeff Peters wants to talk it over. So we take a break. 10:53 to go. 56-20. Georgia Southern leading it big. 3rd down and 10 for Tennessee Chattanooga, trailing it big. Jeff Peters rolls the pocket, throws complete. Stepping out of bounds is Derek Hall. Now a 4th down and long coming up. A no-brainer. You go for it on 4th down to see where they're going to mark it. It'll be 4th down and 6 coming up.
And Paul Carroll had the eye on Jeff Peters. You could tell he was just licking his lips, hoping he'd keep the ball 1-2 more steps so he could plant his helmet right on him.
In the second half, Tennessee Chattanooga has done a much better job of either changing their offensive scheme or doing just a better job up front protecting the quarterback. Kenyon Earl in the first half just had no chance whatsoever. So now 4th down and 5. They throw it underneath. Carroll Owens, second effort, has the 1st down and more. He's down to the 25-yard line with 10:38 to go. I want to remind all you folks watching us tonight here on Sports South, the Washington State UCLA game coming up after this one will be seen in its entirety. Coming up a little later here on Sports South. We still got 10:38 to play here from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Georgia Southern leading the University of Tennessee Chattanooga 56-20. Southern Conference action tonight. Glad you could be with us tonight on Sports South. With Ben Hutt, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder with Joe Papueno. Speaking of Joe Papueno, let's check in with him. Joe.
Well, Kevin, I'm going to attempt my first practice extra point. Now, remember, I've not been skilled in the arts, but give a guy a break. Here we go.
Did he make it? That's what I want to know. Yeah, he hit the net. Peters goes down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Tell you what, Joe better watch out. Someone coming off the corner there ripping him a new head.
That is a good point. That's okay. He says, okay, I'm Chad.
He's okay.
I'm watching out.
He's okay.
We're just watching out for him. So 3rd down and a couple. Again, 4 wideouts. Pitch it back. Inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line goes Terry Wilburn. You kind of like that play. You think you got the 4 wideouts. Everybody's laying back, coming after the quarterback. Why not pitch it out there and try to catch him off guard a little bit? It didn't work that time.
They come with the option. I tell you what, you got to give credit to the offensive line here also, and to Jeff Peters, because nobody here is laying down. Even 56-20, they're down that much. But these guys are still marching forward, trying to get the score and look respectable.
So now they scrimmage from the 11-yard line. Again, 4 wideouts. Again, Peters will throw it underneath. Complete. Terrell Owens to the 4-yard line.
Terrell Owens is a big guy. I tell you, he's doing a nice job of crossing the middle. A lot of receivers don't want to do that because that's where it kind of goes from a wreck in a parking lot to a wreck on the freeway.
6'3", 205 pounds. You're right. He is a big target. Has good speed, and they'll look for him. And complete, intercepted. That ball was touched 4 times. Who finally came up with it? I would say Thomas Plant deserves.
Thomas Plant, he deserves the ball, yeah.
You better believe he does.
He deserves an interception.
He's been all over the place. When your defensive tackle makes an interception downfield, that's something special. 1,
and this is just how
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
This is how UTC's night has gone. You know, they're in the end zone, looks like a catch. They move the ball all the way downfield, and it gets intercepted. But if you're a big guy like that, like Robert Plant, you got to love getting on the scoreboard, on the stat board with the skill guys. Hey, I got an interception too. They'll be wearing sweatbands and a towel next week.
4 Tennessee Chattanooga turnovers have not helped. New quarterback in is Grady Blanchard. We thought they were going to keep Blanchard on the sideline and not let him use lose a redshirt year. But the freshman out of Evans, Georgia, the true freshman, comes into the ball game. Now in this ball game, Georgia Southern has scored 8 touchdowns by 7 different players. Last time that happened was back in 1990 against against Savannah State. Another note, this is the most points ever scored by Georgia Southern since the school record, which came against Marshall back in 1989 of 63 points. Get out near the 5-yard line. Like I said, you keep it between the hashes, you run a little clock, you get off the bus, and you get on the bus and go home with a win.
Get on home with a smile on your face. And right now, this is a time for Tim Stowers to kind of evaluate other players on his team. Make sure that they're getting the experience just in case somebody else goes down, somebody else gets hurt. He knows these guys have got experience and they know what to do when they get out there and they get the nod.
Good look at Grady Blanchard. He was all area by the Augusta Chronicle. Listen to this. He runs a 4.5 40, threw for over 800 yards and 11 touchdowns as he took his team to a 7-3 mark back in 1993. Also, he was an all-state baseball selection by USA Today. He tried to throw that one in a crowd, and it's knocked away nicely by Stephen Alston, sophomore out of Hopkins, South Carolina. Second leading tackler on the team, but he's been quiet tonight.
And guess what, Kevin? There's a flag on the play.
Well, illegal receiver downfield.
Got one of the offensive linemen crossing the line of scrimmage.
For an ineligible receiver downfield.
We got an ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. It's declined. Be 4th down.
You know, Kevin, what happens is as your quarterback starts to roll out and you're trying to push people upfield, you either cross that line of scrimmage, or what will happen too is you're in contact with someone and you let them go. If you stay in contact with them, it doesn't, and you're across the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter. But if you lose that contact, then you become a receiver downfield.
Combined, that is the 18th penalty of the night.
Ooh, a lot of yellow flags.
Been that kind of night. Here comes UTC. They can't get to it. Smith gets it away. Taken by Brian Davenport. No place to go, and here comes another flag.
It's going to be a face mask.
35-yard line, 34-yard punt, a 4-yard return, but you're going to be able to tack on at least 5, and they'll do it when we come back. 7:02 to go, 56-20, Georgia Southern in control. Have to go, 56-20, Georgia Southern leading UT Chattanooga. Head coach Buddy Green in his first season as Southern Conference opener or debut, not exactly what he expected it to be.
I don't think he has too many plays left he can really reach in and grab out. Moccasins continue to move the ball down the field. Nobody giving up on this team.
I want to take a second to thank some folks. Neil Magnuson, the sports information director here at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Also Matt Rogers, good guy and a good friend at Georgia Southern. Jim Steffen helping us out. But Jeff Peters, 23 of 32 already tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens next week with Jeff Peters and Kenyon Earl to see who Buddy Green comes out with. Most likely you think it's Kenyon Earl, but you never know in a situation like this if a team's struggling.
Well, from the 14. Line to make is the 10. They throw it into the corner. Knocked away by Brancis Williams. Great play, Brancis Williams, a junior from Baxley, Georgia, leading tackler on the team.
Baxley, Georgia, not too far from my hometown, Vidalia, Georgia, but Brancis does a great job. He never looks at the ball. He watches the receiver, looks at his eyes, and when he goes up for the ball, he goes up also.
The ball almost looked like it hit him in the back of the helmet. But Jeff Peters, sophomore, seeing by far his most action of the season tonight. Clock stopped, 6:23 to go. Underneath it goes, Terrell Owens.
They've been going consistently, Terrell Owens right over the middle.
There's some faithful still on hand, even though their team is down by 36.
Well, it's a beautiful night.
What else are you going to do?
Good night to sit out here in the stands, watch a little college football. It's good, clean American fun.
Temperature in the mid-60s. It goes over on possessions. So with that, I'll tell you that our hotel accommodations were provided by the Quality Inn Chattanooga. See everything Chattanooga has to offer with one of our aquarium packages, which includes tickets to the aquarium, Ruby Falls, and much more. For more information, you can call the Quality Inn Chattanooga at 1-800-651-6767. So it goes over on downs. And Georgia Southern. And their quarterback, Grady Blanchard, excuse me. And Blanchard hands off. Tyrone Stevens right up the middle. Out to the 17-yard line. Down to 6 minutes to play.
Georgia Southern still coming with all their hosses, getting yards.
Second down and 8 after the gain of 2 yards. Georgia Southern is going to go to 1-3, 1-1 in Southern Conference play. UT Chattanooga is going to fall to 1-3. And they will go to 0-1 in Southern Conference play. And it doesn't get any easier, as I said a little bit earlier. The Mocs of UT Chattanooga go to Huntington, West Virginia next week to take on Marshall. On the flip side of that, Georgia Southern goes back home to Statesboro, Georgia, where they're one of the toughest, whether it's Division I AA programs to win at Georgia Southern, one of the toughest places to win in the country. And they will host VMI. Some scores from earlier today. East Tennessee loses to Auburn 38-0. So Auburn remains perfect under Terry Bowden. Appalachian State taking care of the Citadel 56-14. That one is a final. William and Mary over VMI 45-7. VMI, a team struggling right now, and Marshall with no problems in the fourth quarter over West Virginia State 48-0. And here it is 56-20. Georgia Southern, speaking of no problems. As they would say in Australia, no worries tonight.
You got to be impressed with this Marshall team also. Even though they've won the national championship, they've never won the Southern Conference championship, and this may be the year for that. Some of the faithful out here still cheering their team on.
At least enjoying the evening.
At least enjoying the evening.
Blanchard just holds on to it, falls down at the 18-yard line.
One of the most important things, if you're a defense working against an option type of offense, one of the most important things is this backside pursuit. Then you saw number 91 just following it down. But when Blanchard went to make his cut and try to get upfield, there he was making the tackle behind the line.
You know, you go on the road and you only have so much room. You know, your travel squad is only so big. So when you have a game like this, you know, like Georgia Southern only takes 62 players with them on the road. There's not a whole lot of substituting when you think you go too deep. That's 44 right there. Another thing, too, this Georgia Southern team is a very young football team. You scan the two deeps, you find 13 freshmen in the two deeps. It's tough to find, especially with a football team that's this good. Don't let the 0-3 fool you right now.
No, the thing we were talking about earlier is the fact that they played some pretty good football teams. That loss to West Georgia was definitely an upset. But losing to Miami, that's a good team. Losing to Marshall, they're showing how good they are. This is going to be a respectable team. And their schedule gets a little bit easier after last weekend. So expect them to show some big things.
So 4:20 to play, and Georgia Southern is going to have to punt it away as Eric Smith comes back in to punt. You know, coming into tonight, you look at this guy, you want to hear a stat of it that'll tell you an offense is struggling. In 3 games, he punted 23 times coming into tonight. That is amazing.
23 times. Your punter's getting more work than some of your offensive linemen.
Punting over 7 times. Davenport takes it. He's down at the 31-yard line.
It was almost a fumble.
Smarter thing to do.
That was almost a fumble.
Got away with it. You're right. But 23 punts in 3 games, over 7 punts a game. That's amazing.
That's what we were talking about earlier also, is that their third down conversion up until tonight was 20.5%. Their fourth down conversion was 40%. So if they went for it on fourth down, they did a little bit better. But third down, you just can't have that. When you've got to get the first down to keep the drive going, you got to make that thing. And really, you look for at least a minimum of around 50%.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you go in, you start thinking about, though, that Look at the competition they were going against. We brought that up too. So going against Miami, it's a top 10 team in the country. You go against Marshall, the #1 Division I AA team, and that one right between the 8 and the 0 on Terrell Owens in front of his jersey.
And he wishes he had that back, if nothing more than just to keep the clock running. But, you know, another thing about this third down conversion, it's a real important stat in football, and the fact that it tells you how do you do in your drives, and it also tells you how close or how far is that third down. With this situation, you can tell they've had a lot of third and longs trying to make that thing happen. That's not where you want to be.
So from the 31-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Check off at the line of scrimmage, 4 wideouts. Going deep. And incomplete. See, it's a good thing Joe Bueno wasn't down there kicking field goals.
That's right.
Because if he would have,
he'd have had some synovial pica on him.
That's right. We're just looking out for him. Now let's go down onto the field. Joe, what do you got for us?
Well, Kevin, you're absolutely right. It's a good thing I was in the way, because as you see the sidelines, there's really not too much room to maneuver. So if you're not paying attention, you could be a casualty back upstairs.
Underneath, this one complete. Oh man.
Nice hit.
Brian Covington paid the price.
Heard that all the way up here in the press box.
Covington quick up and off the field. Sophomore from Clarkston, Georgia. This has been his first series in the hitman. Came in on that one. Derek Austin, who's returned a interception for a touchdown.
I know some folks from Clarkston, Georgia.
I know someone who knows some folks from Clarkston, Georgia.
That's right.
Well, they're missing one player. Important one at that. Sifkin. Been impressive tonight. Dexter Dawson from his 25. Dawson out to the 45-yard line. So 3:18. Clock continues to move even though the change of possession. Now they stop it at 3:17.
Kevin, that up back that we saw run on the field, kind of like, that's a really important guy. You got to have him out there, because there's one guy that the there's one guy that the punter's got to take, and that's usually him. That's usually the guy right there. If you don't have that up back, somebody's going to come clean and just rip his leg off.
But Georgia Southern with the football now in a 36-point lead. Trying to run some time off the clock and do just that right up the middle.
If they can get the first down, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the fullback continuous up the middle there just to keep that thing going.
You know, the longest losing streak, because last year they lost at Youngstown State to the Penguins. So the longest losing streak in the history of this program at 4, and it ends tonight.
I'll tell you what, that's nothing to be ashamed of. But you lose, what, 4 in a row? That's the longest losing streak?
Oh, that's when you go back a dozen years of the new era.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent.
And it could translate almost into dominant if you really, you look at this Georgia Southern team in Marshall. They have been top dogs in Division I AA, bar none, over the last decade.
I think that's why last week we were really expecting that Georgia Southern Marshall fight to be a bit of a rock fight, and really just you saw the dominance that Marshall has in the Southern Conference right now.
That one's not the way it. They probably drew it up on the chalkboard, but they stopped the clock with 2:09 left.
Guys are getting anxious. Still got some folks here in the stands. Beautiful night here in Chattanooga.
So they mark it off.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Still 3rd down.
This is not one, even though you win 56-20, don't think this is one that, that Georgia Southern is going to be looking forward to. If you win by 36 points, you'd be looking forward to going to films tomorrow morning, right?
You know what, though? That's coaches, too, though. First of all, you'll never have a perfect game. Your coach will always find something that you can get better on. And he'll say, hey, great, enjoy it for today, but let's get to the films. Let's start getting better because we got another game next week.
That was the 11th penalty for 99 yards against Georgia Southern.
That is a lot of yards.
The ball at the 49-yard line. And it won't be enough for the first down, so Georgia Southern will punt it away with 1:42 left in the game. Head coach Tim Stowers and company going to go to 1-3 on the season. Eric Smith will punt it away, the senior from Athens. Here comes UTC. He gets it away. It goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So, change of possession with 95 seconds remaining in the ball game. And Georgia Southern, ever since ever since end of the first quarter, they've been kind of a sparring match in the first quarter, but from then on out, it was over. And a long day for Buddy Green.
Right now, if you're a player, what you really start to look for, especially if you're up like Georgia Southern is to keep your mental concentration. You know you've won the game, but you still got to play football. And the real reason is because you want to avoid injuries. If you're not paying attention, you're going to go out there, get your leg snapped. Something bad will happen.
Nice close on the ball.
Great defensive play by Marco Branham. Jeff Peters consistently going to Terrell Owens, trying to get the big man open.
Yeah, you get some things open underneath, and you find a friendly face in a friendly uniform. When you lose by 36, there's not very many of those.
When for Georgia Southern, when they've lost the last 3 games, I know they all lost as a team. The coaches tell you that, well, you lose as a team and you win as a team. Tonight, it truly has been a team win in the fact that everybody's scoring. Defense, offense, special teams. Everybody's helping control this football game. So our hats off to Georgia Southern coach Tim Stowers.
Terrell Owens, another catch tonight.
I wonder what his stats are, huh?
He's had a big night. Peters, go back to him. Why not? Makes the catch at the 39-yard line. Only a gain of a couple, and I don't know if he got out of bounds.
Terrell's having a big day.
Look at this. He's thrown for 179 yards, ran for 40 yards, 219 yards of total offense. He's getting the congratulations from on the field or on the bench. 2 touchdowns as well for Kenny Robinson. You will hear quite a bit about this young man, redshirt freshman from Concord, North Carolina.
Think he's a rookie anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's the way you really want to build your confidence, though.
Over the middle, complete. I want to tell you something. Jeff Peters has a gun.
He's got a great gun thrown to Denny Kuntz on that play, right across the middle. I tell you what, they're not sitting down for anybody. They are continuing to run the plays as hard as they can. 3rd
catch of the year for Denny Kuntz, sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee. His 1st catch of the night.
I'm very impressed with Jeff Peters, how he's running this football team out of this no-huddle offense.
Underneath, complete again. Stan Sullivan.
Sullivan smart enough to get out of bounds, stop the clock, and give his team a little bit more time.
With 51 seconds, we talked a little bit earlier, and now Terrell Owens has come out of the game, but you're remiss without mentioning 12 catches tonight for Terrell Owens.
Kevin,
117 yards.
When they're going out of this, no huddle offense, right now they've stopped the clock, so they're able to get a play in. But when they go out of this no huddle offense, they pretty much go up to the line. Jeff Peters is saying, "Check with me." And when he gets up there, he calls the play, and everybody has to be on the same page as he's doing that.
Kuntz again underneath the coverage. Has enough for the first down. The clock moves though. 44 seconds now. They stop it. So, 8 touchdowns tonight by 7 different Georgia Southern Eagles. They have been impressive. Roderick Russell, Eric Thigpen, Dexter Dawson, Kenny Robinson has 2, Tyrone Stevens, Derek Austin.
How about Kevin Eschenfeld? Is he on there?
No, he's one of the few people in the stadium tonight that did not get into the end zone.
Did not score for Georgia Southern.
Also Chad Nybert. This one picked off.
Marco Branham.
And Branham will bring it back. So with 30 seconds left, clock stops. Georgia Southern will come out, take a knee, and this one will end mercifully for University of Tennessee Chattanooga. Marco Branham, another interception tonight.
Marco's been around the ball all night long, just in perfect defensive position, dropping to where he ought to be, playing his responsibility, and he comes up with a nugget.
So the second most points ever scored by Georgia Southern. They scored 63 sometime back against Marshall. They score 56 tonight. They go to 1-3 overall, and 1-1 in Southern Conference play. Blanchard just holds on to it, and that should do it. Just a matter of whether or not they want to run another play.
And that ought to do it. Pretty impressive win by Georgia Southern Eagles.
They're not going to run another one. Tim Stowers is going to get the win. Georgia Southern to 1-3. They host VMI next week. 1-1 in conference play. Buddy Green and UT Chattanooga goes to 0-1. They go to Marshall next week to take on the Herd. So we appreciate you joining us tonight. For Ben Utt, Joe Pequeno, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Georgia Southern wins at 56-20.